So two questions. Oh, one question.
Yeah.
Did anyone in the party, when having these visions, immediately realize the loss of the memory?
No.
That was taken away from them? No. Okay. So Ghost might have offered something to learn more about allies to their cause, including the Undying Court.
I think by the time we got to the third one, we understood what was happening.
Yes.
Like, if that's what you were asking, Michael. Like, we knew we were giving up something meaningful. Hera giving up the idea of being a professor, that's pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, Ghost would essentially be giving up his anger. Like, the item that I would have thought to give was the mechanical spider that I have, Reese.
Yeah.
The first thing that I created, but that was also a big part of the reason Ghost is a runaway. So that would have been what he offered. Essentially, would have asked. Oh, I can't tell right now if I would have done it, but about the Undying Court and whether they're allied and can help us.
Sure.
Something along that sort of line. We can go over that another time, though.
No. I think that's a good one. It's separate enough that, and also relevant enough that I think Ghost would have asked it in the time. So if we cast our minds back to that hall of sandstone walls and blue marble floors.
That's myself back, but it doesn't feel like I've been able to.
This is true. The old lady hunched over. She's using the wall to hold herself up, and you offer up this mechanical spider. And she asks you guys, she takes your hand and she says, what are you offering?
This is the first thing that I ever built. And it became the reason my family cast me out. Or well, why I was cast out.
She takes
the reason I'm here.
She takes your hand and gives a big bit of a grin to. Excuse me, sorry. As she's letting that silence sit just that little bit, and you keep talking and trying to fill those little gaps. She just pats your hand softly, and she goes, "She needs some freaking water."
Not a lot of water in the dream state.
No. She goes, "You want to give me the reason you were cast out?"
I don't really know what I'm giving you.
Ghost, you would have seen Molokov and Hera both agree to this, knowing that they're giving something back. Like, it does sound like she's just going to take something, but they both have got something back in return. She says, "Will you give me the reason you were cast out?" Looking at the spider.
Boy. So when you open that box, probably important to note for the rest of you, there are 4 items in that box. There's a feather, a pearl, a note, and this mechanical spider.
Everyone's like...
And he'd looked at those other 3 items as he took out the spider and very carefully closed that box and stashed it away. I think I've been angry for long enough. And it's going to help others, so this one's for you.
She gives a nod and takes the spider and opens up her, like, she's got like a shawl on, and opens it up, and you just get a glimpse of almost 1,000 things sitting back there. She puts it away and it disappears into shadow. She gives a nod and reaches out and takes your hand, almost for support. She kind of matches you in height, even though she's so hunched over. And she leads you down one of the corridors and takes a left. The rest of the party kind of follow at a distance like they have with the other two. And she gestures to one of the mirrors hanging on the wall. They're on like a swivel. You can turn them in different directions. She gestures up to one. What is your question? A bit of retrospective as well. The two questions that were asked were, what are House Jarosco's intentions? Shown. What is the Emerald Claw's intentions? Shown.
I suppose it can't be a very convoluted question.
It can be whatever you want, with keeping in mind that it will be shown in a manner of images, noises, scenes. You're not too sure.
Oh. Do I want to ask where?
You can discuss with the party as well, I think.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Although this does seem like a more personal question than a group question, but
It is, and to be fair, it probably would have been a conversation that would have happened then and there, because I've told you about this. I think I've told you guys about this figure. Hera's seen it.
you don't know that though.
I don't know
You
that
don't know
yet.
that.
And this would have become prevalent. It's like the Undying Court, they told me that something's not letting the dead die. And that I should keep to seeking the truth and allow them to pass, because these there are things that are aligning. But what would I ask? Would I ask how to find them? Would I ask if they support us?
Well, I believe from what they've already told you, they support us, or at least support you.
Okay.
What's this about the dead not dying?
I don't know. I mean, yes, that's all I know, which is why I want to find them. If they know more, then perhaps that could help us connect the dots. Find more truth, find more answers.
Perhaps you could ask something along those lines. What is their connection to all of this? Connection maybe to the shifters? Or... What do you think, guys? Any thoughts?
Ian trying to unmute.
Exactly what was trying to happen. Because I can't push it too hard, or else the whole fucking setup falls apart. Need a laptop.
Like I said, it
Duct
can
tape.
reach forward. Okay.
Yeah. It's
All
coming.
right. When we're having lunch next week, Ian, you and I will go to the bathroom, and then we'll just go to JB Hi-Fi, buy your laptop.
Oh yeah. What was I gonna say before I fucked around for a minute?
I guess I want to know if do I ask about how they're involved in all of this, or do I ask how to find them? If they spoke to me, then they said they're watching.
Yes, well, I suppose the way the mirrors seem to work, you will get visual clues. Perhaps you will be able to identify some locations that you recognize.
I think we also, if you can get more concrete information of how they're involved, that might decide if we even want to get to them. I feel like we might be able to find someone else or somewhere other way of finding them. But this is a good way to objectively, we assume anyway, get information on what they're actually doing, which is almost going to be impossible otherwise to get.
And I mean,
Could ask what they know, what they see.
that's true. Much as
It's good
you
to me.
also want to find them, I mean, I suppose they can always find you. And as I say that, I'll just look to your shoulder,
I was
like
gonna,
over your shoulder.
I was just gonna say, I think by this point it sounds like Ghost has now definitely revealed what he experienced. I can't remember the details you went into, but maybe in this moment you explained it a little bit more. So Kira, you now recognize that person standing over his shoulder matches the description of what he saw.
Yeah. Well, I was
Yeah.
also there when he phased out in the red glow
That's correct.
as well. I was the only one that saw that
That's right.
way back in the Yonkers.
But sorry, carry on, Dale.
That's the one.
But yeah, I'll say, as much as you are looking to find them, I believe they can find you, and then we'll sort of just like look to your shoulder and then back to your eyes.
Then we should see what they see. He did tell me to seek the truth. My question is, what do the Undying Court see in the goings on of Eberron?
Ask again. What do the Undying Courts see? I'm just trying to make sense of the question.
What are
Sorry.
the? I guess what are the most prevalent or dangerous things the Undying Court see in the goings on in Eberron? The thing that worries them most.
Eberron. I thought you said everyone.
In Eberron. Oh.
In Eberron. Okay, yeah, cool. That makes a lot more sense. She gestures up towards the mirror, and you go and you kind of tilt it a little bit. And you see you standing there before the mirror kind of almost has a frost over it, and you tilt it another way and you see a scene starting to happen. You have to tilt the angle to get it, but... And I do love where this is going to leave the party with more information, which means more questions. You see bright sunlight, clear blue skies. You're in a field, like a wheat field almost, kind of like rolling, like a plains kind of thing, and on the not on the horizon, just a bit closer, is a nice tall marble building, white marble. And you can hear laughter and joy, just the sound of joy, but you can't identify any people. You tilt the mirror and it's round. You almost zoom in, sucked into this marble building, and you see not statues, but tall, elegant, we're talking maybe 8 foot tall, golden masks of that tri image that was shown. And it connects to long flowing robes. You can't even see the bodies under them. It almost looks like a robe, a sheet on a pole. And you look down, there's no feet touching the ground. It's just these robes hanging and these masks, but they are beings. You can see the shoulders. And at the end of this marble corridor is a gate, or doors, double doors. And they all kind of are looking at it, like they're waiting for something. The scene changes again, and it's darker now. It's almost like a filter has been put over the mirror. We're in an old farmhouse somewhere. There's a farmer that's maybe in his 30s or something. He's putting fire on the firewood, and there's also a bed in the corner, and there's a woman, and she's kind of sobbing. And in the bed there's an elderly man, and he's kind of like coughing a bit. And then the woman puts a hand on it, the man, and goes, be at peace. And he closes his eyes, and almost like he's falling into a dream, you see him start to get surrounded by these wheats that you saw. Then the farmhouse starts to become brighter, and the old man gets up out of the bed and opens the door, and outside you see that same wheat field, but it's bright blue skies. And he has a smile on his face as he steps into the wheat fields, and as he does, you see a hand touch his shoulder. He gives a sigh of relief and turns, and you see a pale white face with yellow eyes say, "Not this direction," and turn him. And the mirror goes frosty, and you step away from it.
Oh,
Oi, golly.
now
Do we
Michael
go to
knows what
dream
this
world when we
means.
die?
Say again?
I was gonna say, do we just go to dream world when we die, or at least are we supposed to?
Dreamworld on the Gold Coast, the theme park.
Not gonna lie, that'd be a good place to spend the afterlife. No queues.
I think probably with some discussion around it as well, here you would know that it's been in text as well, that maybe it's a passage to the realm of what we would refer as heaven. I can't remember the Eberron term for it, but there is a land of the dead kind of thing.
Yeah.
There has been text written that to get there you must pass through your dreams and be taken there.
Yes. Yes.
So, we're seeing the Undying Court waiting for a set of double doors to open. And then the dead seem like they pass into this world, and he was going there towards
The
that
Yellow Emperor's
the opposite
collecting
direction,
them.
right? So like the building would have been, he would have been heading towards the Undying
So
Court. The Yellow
supposedly,
Emperor is turning
yeah.
around. So we don't know what the Undying Court are waiting for. However,
You could probably get the sense that they were waiting for things to come through that door, and they weren't.
oh, was that the double door like leading into the building?
Correct.
Understood. Sorry, I thought it was on the other side. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh my dear lord.
So people aren't.
Like the undying will wait
Yeah.
for the dying, and they're not coming.
Yeah,
that
no,
would be
no,
the
it's-
guess
they're
you
all-
would.
Would make sense for how the Emperor's getting his army.
Yeah.
As Ghost just pulls away from that mirror, and the first thing he does is he turns to Hera and just says, "Yellow eyes."
So you
Fast forward.
Dollar is the is the realm of the dead.
Dollar.
See, how do we spell that?
It's in the chat.
Oh, lovely.
Dollar. So you see that and you share it with the party, but after that, you can sit on this information and discuss it at times as well. You got a bit of traveling ahead of you. You thank the hag. You say that's all we require, and she wakes you up. You find yourselves back in the study. Also noteworthy that Hera grabbed the Insight Greed Dragon Shard
I was going to ask about that.
as well.
Dragon Shard. Yep, sure.
And
Oh,
also,
Insight Greed. Interesting. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's extra spicy. Yeah,
sorry, you did cast Identify on that
that's right.
through proxy. So yes, the Insight Greed with the shard being the greed object once cast. But the same with all dragon shards. Anyone can cast from a dragon shard. The spell's already cast within it. You just need to release that energy, and then that will be an empty dragon shard after the fact. Which ties in nicely as you went topside, and Garunda was a bit annoyed that you had missed both dinner and breakfast, meaning that a whole day and night had passed.
Oh wow.
But
For the record, I would have grabbed him some like relatively normal books from that upper level of
Yep.
where we were. Yeah.
yeah, cool. He would definitely appreciate that. He's getting a story together about this place. But on the way out of the labyrinth, you did manage to grab a rifle. The rifle sitting on the plinth with the coils going around it. Now, you haven't had time to sit down with this just yet, but Garunda and Leclerc get ready to pack up and move out for the day. They'll leave you to do your own things, and that is when two things happened. Firstly, Puck used the sending stone to cast a message to his brother, Laurie. Puck, if you want to discuss what you found out there.
So I did that in Thieves' Cant because Puck is suspicious that the people who gave it to us have a way to listen in. But I asked Laurie. I explained to him that we're safe and that Jarasco tried to kill us. And I asked him what was happening in Shan and the Maror holds, and his reply was that the locations are needed for items, and Jarasco is very keen, but they don't need everything. So it seems like they only need some of it. They don't need all. They don't need to accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish in all of the locations. And the needed for items wasn't necessarily about items so much as like physical items, more like like the portal we did here. They're not all portals, but the portal that we kind of were part of here, or killing the Moon Mother. It's not all the same, but it's those sorts of things. Something has to happen at these places, but also it doesn't have to happen at all of the places for some reason. But that's all the information we got. Oh, and that we know. I'm not sure if this was made clear before, but it was confirmed that whatever my brother was doing in Aundair, that's been done. So on that map that had the little butterfly in that area, that has been done, as well as the place that we are in Khorvaire with the dragon. Those two are done. So there's only two left, and they don't need all of them. So we assume that if they get one more, then whatever they're doing is likely to be able to happen.
Sure.
And that was pretty much everything from that conversation.
Yeah. So with that information, we revised the 5 questions that we were going to speak with Dead. while with Garunda out of the building, Hera pulled out the skull that you and her had acquired, placed it kind of on maybe a couple of books or something, and pulled out the dragon shard, emptying it of the spell, meaning that you do have an empty dragon shard in your possession now, and cast Speak with Dead. So, who wants to go through those questions?
Sure. We had the first one was, what was your last memory? The answer we got was her own defiance, met with a blade, scared, identity was lost, I've written.
Yeah. I
Yes,
think
I have.
That's got to be a reference to, oh, they took my body.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we asked, what was the aim of those doing the transference? It was a cure turned obsession, was the answer. So supposedly started out innocently enough and turned into, ooh, look what we can do with all this metal body parts. Did Kenneth take control of this facility? Warforged came with a solution for those wanting to do anything for an answer. So, not a straight up yes, but essentially, House Kenneth made themselves available and helpful when they knew that they were desperate.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it was the answer to Josu's problem. Is what I've
Yeah,
written down.
yeah, specifically.
They
Yeah,
used it, they presented as the answer to his problem.
yeah.
What was his problem?
We don't know, but probably something to do with
We don't
his
know.
sister is a shapeshifter, and we
Yeah,
believe that means that he is a shapeshifter, and so
and that's like the other side to this cure, is we think it's a cure for being a shifter. Yeah.
Okay.
And just
Yeah.
before we move on,
Um,
that triggered some thoughts from some other notes that we had about there is a schism between the shifters. There's a religious schism, and there's two different factions. And I at least started saying maybe that Jurasco, or this particular part of Jurasco, is one of those factions, one of those people in that religious schism, and then the other is is
Emerald Claw.
Callie and her people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just finding it. A religious schism split the shifters. Some worship demonic overlords, others worship the corruptor, who plants ideas in the weak-minded. This faction calls themselves the Emerald Hand. Those who worship the demonic overlords tend to hide out below the crust. The Emerald Claw, on the other hand, is working towards a plan that spells disaster for Khorvaire, organizing and coordinating the efforts across the land. So that's just a suspicion that maybe that is part of that religious schism. Anyway, sorry, Ian, back to you.
No, all good there. Where were we? What is the connection between the Dreamland and the Mournland was our next question. The answer we got, very cryptically, was a continent lost, looking to be found. So we took that to be the continent that the shifters are trying to bring back, or something like that. It's
the one that was banished or something.
yeah.
I don't have those
So
notes
we think
anymore. Yeah, Kabara.
what Dreamland sort of is, and the Mournland is a crack essentially, and some of that continent has tried to break through, and that's what caused the fucking wibbly wobbly.
Oh, that's what caused. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. And so now the Mournland's sort of stuck in this half dream state, is what we're assuming.
Hmm.
and it's like become this almost veil between. That was 4. Our lucky last question, we sort of doubled back because we were answering our own questions and figuring stuff out as we were talking to the skull, and we went with why were Kenneth doing what they were doing here? Because we started to be like, well, we kind of understand now where Jarosco's at and what they were doing, or at least what we were going to get out of him. So we were like, fuck it, let's see what Kenneth was up to here. And we got the answer. Kenneth was the brand on the shoulder, but conversion was the idea of Josu. So the answer there being Kenneth were here and they were helping, but Josu was the one that was,
Constructed.
you know,
Mastermind.
he was the one who was driving it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't like, it wasn't like Kenneth was coming in here and trying to turn everyone into robots.
Correct.
Well, yeah. That like,
They didn't come
That
in
wouldn't
trying
have-
to do that, but they came in to provide the support for him to be able to do that.
yeah. Correct.
Okay. Wild.
Very wild.
Hmm.
So, a lot of information, a lot of getting stuff in the heads, and now with your added bit on there as well, Ghost. The decision was kind of made, well, there's two choices. Looking at the map that you found, there's the Moorholds, which is up in the mountains where you did your apprenticeship, Ghost. That is... you know this information openly. That is where the Dwarven Kingdoms are, the Dwarven Council. I think they're called the Iron Council. But there are different villages and stuff spread throughout the Moorholds. They use the magma and volcanic energy to imbue artifacts and weapons, and that's almost how things get their magical properties. During the war, yes, House Kenneth was relied on to create a lot of weapons and machinery, but for people that didn't have the backing of House Kenneth, they went to the dwarves of the Moorholds. You know, I'm imagining that's how you kind of got involved in the war as well, is that they supplied a lot of fortifications and defences to places. So you know that information openly, and I did share that with the party as well. The other option, of course, is what's highlighted is Shan. Now in Shan, there's a couple of connections that the party has with Molokov and Hera being from the university, but it is also a bustling city. So there's two kind of options here. Go a bit remote. Ghost, you may or may not have connections wherever you may end up there, depending on what is available from New Throne, or go to Shan, a bustling major city, and try and find out what they're looking for there. Garbled. What do you mean garbled?
Like the connections.
I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, am I dropping out?
Just like
Yeah,
every once in a
little
while, it just sort of
You're a
cuts
little bit-
in and out.
Yeah, you're a little bit noise
Robotic.
gatey.
Oh, I can turn this down then. How's that?
Working well for now.
Sure. Did you catch all of that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're still currently in Khorvaire.
Yeah, so we kind of
Wait, I believe.
left it with heading back to New Throne.
Yeah, I think we're on the river.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Taking the boat.
So I guess I'll give that opportunity first of all to you meet up with Gurunda, and he goes, "Yeah, I've plenty of information about the space. I'm going to write up an article at an old facility that has been abandoned, definitely used during the war. I feel like you guys shared as much as the top level with him. It seems that they were up to some not cutting edge, but how do you put it? controversial experiments. Doesn't seem to have led anywhere, though. The publishers will love this. He starts jotting down notes. But you head back to the small village that was at the base of the mountains. The lizard folk there provide you with some provisions and a barge to head back to New Throne. You get on this barge and start heading downriver. So, as you're on the river at the moment, is there anything that you guys would like to discuss, talk about now that Ghost is back in the party as well? What the future holds?
Oh.
Yeah, that's about it. To be fair, that's probably it. We probably are a little bit drained at the moment.
Yeah.
It probably isn't a hell of a lot of talking. Probably all mulling shit over.
Mulling shit over.
We're also on our sweet way to exhaustion if we don't get some.
True, we have not
rest in it.
slept.
Not slept.
Sometime.
And the humidity of the jungle is back at its full force. Even though it's the morning, going into the middle of the day, you feel like, yeah, you've been up for a day and a night, basically. Not sleeping with any rest. So you're starting to feel that kind of like, your head feels a little bit heavy, your eyes are trying to stay open, you're almost yawning without yawning. It's just that internal, I just need rest. Your muscles are tensed up a bit around your shoulders. But as you start floating down this river on the way to New Throne, the city awaits. Dale, can you roll me a d20, please?
Wow.
12. Lovely. A couple of hours pass on the river. You know it's going to take about a day to get from the camp down to New Throne. You are going downriver as well, so that's speeding it up a little bit. I think it was about a day and a half coming up it. And as you do, you see that the vegetation and the trees and stuff are almost have a little bit more life coming back into them. It seems like flowers are starting to sprout next to the riverbanks. The poison that was flowing down from the Moon Mother's lair has subsided. It's starting to become fresh again. After not too long, you come to a fork in the river. And it appears that not all the poison has left fully. As you see in front of you a kind of a hulking figure with drenched black hair sitting atop a rock. He's got boils and kind of burns and stuff on its skin as this troll looks up to your approaching boat and goes, "Me hungry, me need to eat." And he picks up a rock and biffs it at you. As you guys see this.
Oh, that's not good.
So could everyone please roll initiative?
Sure thing.
Anything but a tournament file.
What the heck? we go. So, Ghost,
I got a 10.
Molokov,
It's a 6.
Hera,
That's okay.
Puck.
23.
There we go. Envy doesn't get one. And then also, there we go. That's a nice little roll. You see on the sides of the banks these spindly little, almost plant creatures with spikes out of them. They're almost like needle pines. Start like clambering up and like looking at what's going on as this rock hurls at you. So can everyone make a dex save, please?
Oh. I have a thing that helps with that, don't I?
Possibly.
Do you?
I do.
Does it help us?
Shield.
Just yeah.
Nope, just me.
Cool. Sick.
Oh, don't need help with a natural 19.
Nice.
I got a 12. Envy got a 9.
Yep. Hera.
That's a 6.
Puck.
19.
Nice. You and Molokov, rightfully so, at the front of the boat, you kind of like dodge out of the way of this rock that flies through, but it seems to collect everyone else. So you three go prone and take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. As this troll kind of like stands up and stretches, and as he does, you see like poison almost start dripping off him into the water, and it like bubbles. It seems that not all of the toxins have left this jungle quite yet. But Puck, you're top of the round. What would you like to do atop this atop this boat?
What kind of range are we talking about?
It looks like it's 62 feet.
Okay.
You might notice, Jed, that there's no lines on this map.
I did straight away. I wasn't sure if there were still measurements or not, or if it was all theater. I will. The other things haven't really attacked us yet. They're just watching, aren't they?
They're kind of like crawling up around the rocks, and yeah, they seem to see what's going on. So you're not sure of their intentions yet.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'm going to stand right at the prow and draw my hand crossbow.
Nice.
And unfortunately, because it is so far away, I won't be able to get, even with steady aim, I won't be able to get advantage. So I'm just going to shoot it.
Sure, go for it.
That's a natural one. We re-roll that for a natural 17. So that becomes a 26 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. Go for damage.
Hey, that's pretty good. That is 11 points of piercing.
Nice. See the bolt
And
flick into it and just kind of almost dissolve, but he flinches at it.
And I'm going to shoot again.
Go for it.
That's a 22 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
Yep. And that's a 10 points of piercing.
Very nice.
And I'll shout out to him, "We don't make for good eating. Let us go, and we'll leave you alone."
Noted.
And the mask is on.
And mask comes out. Yeah, nice. That brings us to his turn. He's like, "Ugh!" little creatures make noise, and he picks up another rock and just bits it. So can everyone make a dex save, please?
Jesus.
If we're prone, is that disadvantaged or advantaged or anything, or just normal?
No, you can still make dex saves while prone.
Yeah, I think if he was rolling to attack, it would be
Yeah,
a disadvantage. But yeah. Actually, you know what? Then if you're prone, you can make it with advantage.
Oh, it's a ranged attack. Sure.
Just because you're already down, you can kind of like roll out of the way of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's still not going to be high enough, probably. That's an 11.
Molotov?
16.
Oh,
23.
nice. What did you get, Ghost?
9 for me, net 20 for Envy.
Nice. Envy prances around, even though being prone, and comes out of the way of this. You and Hera kind of roll into each other and then realize you're in the center of the boat and this rock just hits you for 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
We're meant to be working together on this, Hera.
It does this. It's more slime just drops into the water. But Ghost, it's your turn.
Harry gets hit by the first rock and just like sort of knocks. It's like, oh jeez, spits out like a little bit of blood. Turns around to get up from that, knocks into Ghost, gets knocked with the second rock. Just
Shit, I thought from that
pulls
look
on
on your face.
on
Oh,
the deck.
oh, I forgot you took damage in the thing.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
didn't think to heal before anything. We're just cruising down the river. That's fine.
Don't worry, you got 4 weeks to make a new character before next session.
Exactly. That's fine. Just throw another rock.
Hera goes limp in the boat. You say, we're supposed to be working together. Oh shit. Hera's not moving.
That's exactly what Ghost says. Oh shit. Alright, I just wiped some of the blood out of my already bleeding ears. And Simba, Hera, and I'll use my healing hands ability. So you may have, how many d4 is this? It's equal to my proficiency, so 3d4.
Well, that's not bad.
You do this as a reaction. Holy shit.
This is an action. I believe it's my turn, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
Well, let's put it this way. You both rolled a 10, so you get to decide who goes first, whether you want to do a death save or heal.
You know what?
No, sorry. I thought it was
Let's
like
just do this.
in response to his.
And that's a creature. Okay, so you may heal 8 points.
Beautiful.
I wonder if it's gonna work. Is he aiming at? When he's throwing these rocks, he's just aiming at the boat.
He's aiming
right?
at the
It's not
boat.
one-
And it's probably also worth mentioning that the water around him is turning a kind of funny color.
Cool. And do we know which side of this fork we need to take on this boat?
Yes, I'm going to say you need to take... Actually, roll me a survival skill.
Sure. Heaps, thankfully. 22.
Yeah, you need to go down this main one here.
Sure. In the hopes that it's... Wait, how does the spell work again? There's no point in doing that. No, there's no point in doing that whatsoever. Range ruler, I'm really far back. Not a chance. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot this thing.
Yeah, go for it.
It's the first thing I see. Nope, I can't do that. I use my action.
You did. That's okay, because Hera's up.
It's very true. Just get back to my bonus actions. Ooh. That's such a dumb spell. That's unfortunately that's it.
Don't hate the rules.
Hate the game.
No, I hate the player.
I'm just gonna tell. You know what? I'm gonna pin up Envy right up against Hera and get Envy to give her the help action. Whether it's assistance getting up, making a strike, rolling out of the next stone,
Sure.
that is it. And I'll just yell out, "We have to go south!"
Sure. With that survival roll as well, you'll see that the current is actually going a bit faster to the side.
Right.
So you're going to have to try and steer it in.
In that case, I'll use my movement to just go to the back of the boat.
Sure. I'll call it an action to kind of, or like steer it kind of thing. Hera, you... What the heck? You thought you'd better have a nice little nap, but your head is throbbing.
Yep, I can imagine. So, oh fuck. What's gonna be the smart thing to do? Fuck. Because I also don't have a lot of spell slots left either. Fortunately.
Use mine.
I suppose we're still a minute away from him. Not well. So I think all I'm gonna do. Do I still have? I think I should still have. Yep, potion of greater healing. So I'm gonna bonus action drink a potion.
Sure.
So what's a greater is 44
44 plus 4, I believe.
plus 4. Yeah. So it's 14 hit points.
Nice.
Oh, it makes me
Oh, Hera's almost at full health.
Jesus, that's you pretty much got me almost back to full. I just fucking throw the cork out to the side and just pour it down my gullet.
Yeah.
And sort of seeing that Envy snuggled up next to me, I'll throw my arm around her and I'll. Can I? Yeah, I'll hold an action to dodge out of the way of a boulder using envies to help me. So I'll hold the dodge action.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of bit
Spit out a little bit more blood.
confused. You're not sure if it's blood or the healing potion as well. You just kind of downed it and it foul taste in your mouth. But you kind of ready yourself up and you see these needled creatures all like getting excited, and then they all kind of just like squeeze and these needles start flying at you. As you guys kind of brace for impact, you hear thump, 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 as they're going to go 6 attacks on the boat.
Do we all say bless you?
yeah.
Gesundheit.
So that's 1. Well, okay. That's 6 attacks, 1 hits. For 8 points of damage on the boat. Letting you know that it is on 42 before breaking. Started at 50.
No doubt.
That brings us to Molokov, though.
Right. Well, if Hera's back up and running, then tempted. So she's okay for another turn. Hopefully the rest of us are too. I'm gonna. I don't like these guys actually. How far away is the nearest one of these thorny bastards?
27 feet from you to the one to the top left.
Exactly 27. Love that. Fuck. How deep's this water that we're in?
You take a quick look over the side, and you might be able to stand in it, but it would definitely be difficult terrain, and you would definitely be kind of up to your shoulders.
Yeah, and it's
Current's
fast
pretty
flowing.
fast. Yeah.
Fuck it, we're gonna have to deal with this guy sooner or later. I'm just gonna pull a chain, couple sparks, and I will launch a magic missile at the troll.
Oh, sure. How much damage is that?
I will tell you in a second. 1, 3, 4. Terrible. 7 points of damage.
Nice. Boom, 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 as more of this toxic deluge just falls into the water. Doesn't expand the circle though.
Definitely don't want to punch that guy. I'm tempted to run into the water, but I think I'll stay on the boat for now.
Sure, sure. Cool. Top of the round. Can someone roll me a D20, please?
Jessica.
15.
I also rolled a 15.
Oh, nice. As the current pulls the boat, I don't know whether you caught that, Jed, but that's where the flow of the river is going. This is where you guys need to go.
Yes, I did catch that.
Cool.
And I had some thoughts.
But you are closer now, so
Yeah. Puck is going to go over to Molokov and ask Molokov to help hold him steady. And then he's going to use his grapple hook to shoot. I can reach this rock over here.
Yep.
And using that, I'm going to use that to move us.
of course you want to rotate the boat now. You think I can do anything with this thing?
I don't think it has to. Whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Now, it has, and drag us as far as it will let us do going that way.
Sure. Give me a strength. You're going to be trying to pull this. So yeah, give me a strength or athletics.
Yep.
Check.
Yep. Will I get any help from Molokov in that, or is that just me?
I'm going to say yeah. Go with advantage for the strength check, and then you can roll a d20 to pull yourself in that direction that many feet.
All right. As a athletics check, that's an 18.
That's definitely a pass. So now roll a d20.
That is a 19.
19. So let's do this. Okay. Boop.
And that's going to be my action, and I can't really do much.
Nice.
So I guess I'm just going to try and intimidate the guy again. Just be like,
Sure.
leave us alone, and you might live to tell the story.
Yeah. So you say this, and he is definitely just hell-bent on getting some food for his breakfast. What he'll do is he'll start wading into the water.
Yeah.
So he's going to go half feet. And then as he does wade into the water, it's kind of bubbling around him and such. You see him almost put some of his wounds in the water and breathe in, and you see them kind of stitching up together as the surrounding thing disappears, but he will regain 10 hit points.
This guy is a pain.
But no rock throw this time. Ghost. What do? Boat's on 42
what?
HP.
Question, yes.
Started
Uh-huh.
at 50, got hit by one needle boy.
Yeah. Sure did. Too much? Not sure.
You've also just been rotated around.
Yeah, what this do? Okay, sure. That's a 60-foot range. How much is 60 feet? Not enough. I don't know, DM. I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver on the thing.
Ooh.
It's an intelligence saving throw.
I can tell you, he's not good at those.
That's good. DC 14.
That's a 5, -3, that's a 2.
Yay! He's gonna take 2d6 psychic damage, which is 7 points, and we'll subtract a d4 from its next saving throw
Copy that.
before the end of my next turn.
Love that.
Bonus action. Bonus action? No. Bonus action. Envy help Hera again.
Sure.
And I'm gonna stand there and look pretty.
Okay, comes to Hero. Because, I will say as well, Ghost, that you haven't identified the item you picked up from the labyrinth yet.
I'm well aware.
Yep.
Ghost has a threshold of I'm not sure, ah well fuck it. And he hasn't quite crossed it yet.
Sure. Sorry, here we go.
What did your spell do to it, Ghost?
You want to, if you can make it do a saving throw, you'll have it. It'll be at disadvantage.
No, it just subtracts a d4.
For any save or just specific ones?
The next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Presume it'll be more constitutious than wise, so I think I will. I'll sort of pulling myself up, and the boat's sort of moved, and we're still coming down river. And now we're a lot closer to this big fuck off thing. And so I will get scared, and that will give me the idea, and I'm going to cast Khorvaire.
Cool.
So I will sort of start whispering and muttering and casting a sort of an illusion in this guy's head. So that is a wisdom saving throw, please.
13.
13, that is going to fail.
Ooh.
So it is frightened.
What does it say?
Ooh. Yes, I think what it says, I'll sort of stand on the edge, like 1 foot up on the edge of the boat, and be muttering and whispering, and then as it sort of locks eyes with me, the sort of tentacle will start almost crawling out of my mouth and then just slowly more and more and more and just coming towards it and just
No.
slowly coming to envelop it.
You can't pull my own shit on myself.
Hey, you put the ideas in here as head, man.
You see it like, what the? He does not want to eat that at all. He is frightened. Is that you done?
Yeah, that's all I can really do.
All right. Yet again, the needle blights throw forward their needles to the boat. So the first 3. None hit. And the second 3. As the needles punch her into the boat. Hello, yes?
There's 7. Is one of them out of range?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's the 7th one?
There's 4 on the right, 3 on the left.
I completely forgot about
that
that
guy is more than 60 feet away.
You know what? He doesn't exist.
Okay.
I might have just used him as a token. But anyway, they all rolled sub 10 on their rolls with 6 attacks. So the needles fly into the boat, but thankfully it's safe for now. Molokov, you're up.
Excellent. Is this guy within 30 feet of us now? Or the 30 feet of the edge of the boat?
Yes.
Lovely. I'm going to step up to the edge of the boat and big arching swing. I'm going to launch the shield at him.
Nice. Go for attack.
17.
Yes, that will hit.
Uh, 9 points of magical bludgeoning.
Nice. As the shield bashes into him, more toxins go into the water.
Ah, yes. And as the shield returns, I sort of catch it and keep the momentum going. I'll swing it again.
Nice.
Throw it again. Natural 20.
Oh, here we go.
That'll be 10 plus 11 plus. So 16 points of damage.
Nice. Big hit. Kind of knocks his shoulder back. More toxins fall into the river, but yeah, he's looking hurt.
I suppose I'll give myself some temp HP while we're here.
Why not?
I think it's the last one. Good to know. But that's all I got.
Nice. Top of the round, because of your grappling hook, can someone roll me a d20, but you are going to be moving in this direction.
12.
Puck, you are up. Grappling hook still attached to this rock here.
Is it?
Unless you disengage it.
Yeah. Is that my action to do so?
No, I'm just saying that I thought you pulled it to the
Okay,
rock and you were pulling the boat towards that direction, at least until it was past this kind of fall.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was just like, does that mean I can't shoot it again? Kind of idea. I was like, oh, do I have to? Like,
No,
go
you
get it
can
or
you can have
something?
chosen
Yeah, okay.
for it not to be still attached.
Oh, I probably would have been like, pulling myself across as the boat moved.
Yep.
Just trying to work out if it's actually. I mean, it's going to take. I actually don't know if it's worthwhile trying to move the boat ahead anymore because it's like 70 feet till the front of the boat is at the end of the thing. But it might make other guys be out of range, maybe. Or am I better off just dealing a crap load of damage?
Crap load.
Yeah. Wait, was that grappling?
I said crap load.
Okay.
now that you're like pulling up next to this thing, it's like hulking in the water. The water only comes up to like its thighs.
Yeah, it's in its cursed bubble bath.
Yes.
I'm not really worried about him, although I don't want him hitting the boat. But he's scared of Hera, so he has to move. He can't move towards us.
You can't move closer, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it looks like he's quite afraid of Hera.
All right, Puck is going to shoot. Probably the nearest two. Well, so shoot this one first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll steady aim that so I can get sneak attack
Sure.
for a nat 20
Nice. I think you would.
and a 6. So, oh man, that's. Does it have much hit?
What's its base damage?
Base damage is like 30. Hang on.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's well gone. Like,
Cool. Yeah, cool. And then I'm going to Whales from the Grave. And I'm
No,
going
you can't be steady aimed unless that's a free action.
It's not any kind of action.
Nice.
Just whenever I do sneak attack damage.
yeah.
And there's an enemy within 30 feet of it. So I'm going to do that. And that is 2d6 necrotic,
Yep.
which is 8 necrotic
8 necrotic.
on that one there.
Yep. Still standing, although climate activists will be coming after you for destroying vegetation. He's got a little bit of HP left.
Climate activists coming for the troll first for pollution.
Yeah.
Eco-terrorism. Cool. I think that's probably going to be my turn. Yeah, that's my turn.
Love it. So, comes to his turn now. And... oh, wonderful. He is going to move up to the side of the
He
boat.
cannot. He is
Oh,
afraid.
of course. Can't move closer to you.
He also has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls
And attack
while in
rolls.
line of sight.
Yeah, he's not getting out of line of sight, to be honest. So what he's going to do is he's going to hold his ground, but does he heal or try and break this boat? I think the tentacles have got him in a bit of a frenzy. He's going to reach around into the water and pick up a rock and throw it at the boat, not the people. So that does hit.
Disadvantage.
Of course. That doesn't hit, as the rock goes flying straight over the boat. You guys all go to duck, but like it's just going way off, and he is splashing around trying to find something to do as this tentacled creature is coming towards him. Ghost.
Khorvaire is such an underrated spell.
It's so good.
It's so good. I'll be like, Envy, hold this! Huh! And I'll pin the rudder of the boat to keep steering us towards this far bank.
Yeah, sure.
But that'll be my bonus action to get Envy to use her action to just brace up against it, to like hold that in place.
Yep. Do you want to roll me a d20?
I do. 16.
Nice. You swing the boat down to here.
And I'll pull out my pistol while I'm at it, and I'll shoot this one.
Nice.
Natural 1.
Unfortunately, the pulling the boat and turning the rudder and then pulling out your pistol, just too much is going on and the bullet goes wide.
I'm going to say that backfires slightly. I get some gunpowder rash for 2 points of damage.
Let's see if...
We don't even need an adversarial DM. We do it to ourselves.
Right, Harry, you're up.
I suppose I'm still concentrating on the spell.
Yeah.
Still cast things, but I suppose now that we're a bit closer to it, and it has taken damage. So I suppose almost in its mind, as I'm sort of speaking, these tentacles are sort of all just sort of whirling around now. One will sort of almost just pull out of nothingness a bell and hold it above it, and another tentacle will smack against it, and I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on him.
Nice.
So it's another wisdom saving throw.
It's a natural one.
Natural one. So it's 11 necrotic damage.
Reverberates and it just holds its ears and screams out whilst also like decaying at the flesh.
That's probably, I suppose, knowing the boat will probably start moving, sort of holding its gaze. I'm going to move myself to like the end of the boat up here.
Oh yeah,
So that
yeah.
once we're I'm at the back, still looking, holding him in place.
Good call, good call. I'm going to go 5 attacks with the needles. It's kind of probably getting their last chance. You see they're just starting to fall into the water as well.
I hate to shoot us in the foot, but it doesn't get to make a save or anything on that fear. Does
On
it?
the end of its turn, it did.
Sure.
All right.
So
I will roll that soon. So one of the needles hits. 2 of the needles hit. So that is going to be... So the boat has 26 HP left.
ooh.
And I will roll that save again. It's a 5. It's still feared.
Sick.
But that takes us to Molokov. You see the boat starting to fill with
Right.
water now.
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, I think the rest of my team's going to do more damage than I am. Sort of catching the shield again. Can I spend my action almost positioning myself at like the closest point on the boat, to where the troll is, and I almost want to be shield off the side and braced in both hands. Like I almost want to add my shield's AC to the boat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm trying to give it an extra 2 AC.
yeah.
Is what I'm doing, and I'll spend my action sort of like trying to watch and anticipate that rock throw, and see if I can get the shield to interpose.
Yeah, I think I'll allow it. Give me a dexterity check though.
Just a check.
Yep, and we'll go above a 12. You can give it a 2 AC.
It's a 13 on the dice.
There we go. Very good. You put yourself into a defensive position, and it reaches top of the round. And let's go, Ian. Roll a d20.
13 again.
13 again. Bloop. Puck, you're up.
Cool. Just want to get out of here. So Puck's going to use his grappling hook again. I'm not sure what's sort of off the map, but I could probably
There's branches, there's
that
trees,
or even over on that side or something like that, just to get as much movement as possible.
Yep. Give me that
So
strength check.
Yep. No help this time. Yeah, he's just going to brace himself and go for it.
Yep.
I can still use athletics, yeah?
Yes.
Sweet. That is a 12 on the dice plus 3 is 15.
15 is what you needed. Roll a d20.
Yeah, he sort of like starts like he's like almost lying down, and he starts
Yeah,
getting pulled up and just sort of like loops his arm under something and just holds a little bit tighter. Oh yeah, sorry, d20 for how far we move. 10.
10. Bloop. You pull the grappling hook, and you feel the boat pulling through the water. Almost the speed is like kind of covering up. The water's not coming in; it's like going around the boat. But anything else you'd like to do in your turn?
I don't really think there's anything. I'll probably just call out to the rest of the crew. If you can make us move faster, do it.
Nice. As you do that, this thing is freaking out. It's holding its ears. It looks back to you. I think common sense, it's going to just absorb this poison again and regenerate itself. Even though I believe you're going to get out of here pretty quickly. So that's going to be +6. And the thing disappears. Ghost.
Bonus action. I'll tell Envy to let go of the rudder so we're not gonna run into the side of the bank.
Sure.
And then action.
Just beat yourself right as you thought you were going to get away.
Yeah, that'd be great, right? I'm just gonna mind sliver the big troll again.
Sure. Before you do that, I'm going to make a save for the fear.
Oh yeah.
14.
14 will fail.
Okay, cool.
Wonderful. So it needs to make an intelligence save, please.
8.
Yeah, no, not happening. That is 6 points of psychic damage.
Nice. It's
And
now
it will
just...
take a D4 off its next saving throw.
Yeah, nice. It's now wailing around, gripping its head, trying to figure out what's going on. It's got no attention to the boat anymore. Hera, what are you doing?
Being where we are and where the boat is leading, I will just hold the concentration for the 60 feet until we're far enough away from it.
Nice. And Molokov?
I think I'll repeat again, try and defend the boat. Yeah, I think that's the best course. Is let's get the fuck away from this thing.
Yeah. So between everyone, Puck grappling different directions, kind of steering from the front, Envy helping steady the boat from the back. Here you maintain this concentration for as long as you can, and Molokov just keeping eye on what protection is needed around the boat. You eventually do escape the situation.
Woohoo.
Very well done.
That was a cool encounter.
I love the sickly green water. It was really cool, Reese.
Yeah.
Be really nice map.
Only the bloody needle blights could have done a bit more damage. But that's all right.
Speaking of which, does someone know mending?
Yeah, that'll be the thing that goes to next. He'll go to the places where they've actually punctured through the hull and start casting mending.
Yep. They're tiny holes. But that is also fair enough.
If it wasn't for that fear, though, he was about to cut us off.
Yes, he was very close.
He was going to get to the boat.
Yeah.
That fear saved our asses, and I remember the Critical Role guys coming up against what are these called? Bloat trolls or something similar.
Yep.
And
I
if
think
yours
it's
in melee
all trolls
range,
kind of yeah.
it's not a good
That's-
time.
Not a good time. But as here as you are, you managed to get past it. So the rest of the day continues. And before long, you see the gates, the walls, and the rooftops of New Throne. So approaching the docks, as you bring your boat in, I think have a quick bathroom break, and then we can see what we're doing in the city.
While we're on the boat and we have the time, I'll definitely identify that weapon.
Oh, sure, I'll send you something. So I think the way I want to do this is we're not going to do minute by minute interacting with every NPC. It's more a thing of what do you guys want to get done in New Throne before heading to your direction. Is there anyone you want to talk to? Is there any shops you need to go to? Any information you want to try and get out of places? So when you arrive, it is that very familiar harbour district of barges and ships that obviously go out into the bay to do trade and stuff. There's a couple of larger ships sitting out on the horizon that you can see. They obviously use little dinghies and stuff to come in, but it's very bustling here in the harbour district. When you arrive, the harbour master asks for a fee to dock your barge there. It's just one or two gold if someone wants to subtract that. And then directs you to the harbour district tavern, where there will be captains and sailors and such that will be going on their different ways, should you want to talk to them. Garunda will leave you for now, thank you for the adventures, and say that he will go up into the academic district, where his house of journalism and the news agencies, he's going to try and write a little bit of pieces, see if he can gather any more information on the area, but he'll hopefully cross your paths yet again sometime. He will also ask you, can I tell your story of the mountain and the Moon Mother, or would you rather me, these people in the city, they're going to want an explanation of how things are going back again to normal.
What do we tell them about the Moon Mother?
I think we said that we would say the Moon Mother is still protecting them.
That's right. We gave him the blanket story.
Yeah, and I think we gave him the blanket story. I don't think we told him what actually happened.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
Actually, almost had a little thought of saying something about that when we were on the boat ride down, and you said that we were noticing things sort of growing and the life coming back. Someone probably would have heard Hera mutter, the spirit of the Moon Mother seems to be returning. Sort of re-implying that the idea of the Moon Mother is enough to wash away the poison that, you know.
Of course. Garunda will ask you then, as a party, what I'm more asking is, you're becoming known. You saw those lizard folk in the camp. They celebrated you. Would you like me to pass on your story, publish your names?
It'd be nice for the people to know that we're not that their lands are returning to normal. They can go about in their regular lives.
I think it'd be a great one, a great story, something to be talked about in the taverns. Well, thank you for the adventures. Leclerc and I will be seeing you shortly. And he gets on Leclerc and heads up and away. So, what is the first thing you guys would like to do? More of a generic approach here.
I definitely want to check with broker. Sorry.
I was just going to say, in answer to Michael's question from earlier, like we've been talking before, we were going to decide where we were going based on whether there was a skyship that happened to be going up north, or if there was an easy rail back to, way to get to the rail to get back to Shan, or essentially what's going to be the easy way. So our first thought being, we know there's an airship port here. See where they're going.
Yeah, sure.
See if anyone's going anywhere useful.
That works.
Might be able to find an actual boat back to Shan.
Cool, that's all right. That does leave the rest of my questions open for discussion later, which is great.
Okay, so why not, if you're starting to ask around the harbour district, can someone give me your choice of charisma check, and how that would look about asking about transport to these two places?
Unnotably low charisma party.
Yeah, I've got a +2.
You're well ahead of everyone here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I might
maybe
actually...
goes.
Mm-hmm. -1.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, -1.
Ghost is brash, confident, not a people person. He tends to insult people
Sure,
and
sure.
like step on people's toes.
Yeah.
Okay, that could work in your advantage in this situation. You can combine skills as well. What the challenge I'm putting forward is how are you finding out if there's the transport going to either of these two places? Are you just going up to captains and going like, "You going to Shan? You going to Shan? You going to Shan?" Or like, what does this look like?
So I want
Where's
to check in
the-
with Broker.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
See if he has, because I think he was sending off some letters and things. See if he's heard anything back in the time that we've been away. And also, I'll ask him the same question if he knows of anyone going to either them, or the best way we could get to the Rawholds or Shan
Sure.
quickly.
Now, you go down to the Old Town district and you find the. We're going to say this takes place over a day or so from when you get here, so anyone can do their own different things. The street with all the houses along it. There was House Kenneth, House Jarosco, so on and so forth. What you do notice is that when you pass by House Jarosco's place, Lionel is out in the back garden, just tending to some flowers or something. But he doesn't seem to notice you as you come past. So Lionel is still in that house, but you do go to your house and knock on the door, and Roger will open and go, "Oh, my, Puck. It's definitely been a while. How have you been?"
All things considered, things have gone well. Have you received any news for us? And also, we're hoping to leave the city pretty soon. There are pressing matters we must attend to, ideally in the Moral Holds, but if there was a way to get there quickly, or maybe even to Shan, if you know anything about that, that would be very helpful.
Of course. I believe you asked him to look into Jarosco as a house, and just any information he could have gotten. As you kind of mentioned this, he goes, yes, come in, and he closes the door behind you. You see he's got a couple of scraps of paper spread out on a desk. It looks like he's been doing a little bit of research for you. Yes.
Red thread going between like daggers stabbing it into the...
But his information is like 1%, where you guys have like 60%. And he goes, here, and he pulls out an article from the New Throne Herald. This might interest you, since you mentioned that, and he hands it over to you. And if you want to read this out, Jed.
The renewed activity of the famous, Garadra Gap volcano has made the news, albeit as a minor story. Some news articles make jokey references to local stories about giant trolls and strange lights in the skies being sighted. Many of the articles mention that Jarasco has sent medical aid to the area, setting up camp in Frostmantle in readiness for a large-scale eruption.
Where is that?
I don't know. Is it possible? Oh, yeah. Was it Frostman?
That must be in the...
Oh, okay, cool. That's at the bottom of the Mirror Lake kind of thing. It's in the middle of the Mirror Holds.
Oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. That was... Yep. That's brilliant. That's wonderful. We need to know that. Awesome. Cool.
Not sure if that helps you, but it seems...
very much, thank you.
Yes, I also have heard that in Staraluska, where you said you'd come from. It seems that House Jarosco has a lot of activity happening in and around it, but none of my sources could pinpoint what it was. It doesn't seem to be any sickness going around. They shouldn't be as busy as they are, but not too sure. I'll have to keep investigating. As for transport, I know that New Throne does trade with Krona Peak, the capital of the Moorholds. There should be skyships that travel there with cargo. If you can find a captain to persuade or pay, I'm sure they wouldn't mind extra hands on deck.
What was it called, sorry? Morna Peak.
Krona. Krona.
Okay, cool. That's incredibly helpful. Thank you. I would say with Jurassico that it would be well worth keeping an eye on them. They're up to no good. There's something happening in Shan, and there's something happening in the Rawholds. I'm not sure what, but they should be watched. Especially the sub-branch coming from Staraluska. Josu Keeling is not what he appears.
He'll note this down as you say it as well. I know you're trying to be like quite, how much information do I tell him kind of thing, but he'll note it down and go, all right, I'll send word back to the to Gatherhold, and we'll have our eyes and ears around. It might not be me. It seems like you're about to travel on further, but if I can get word out to any of our colleagues, they'll inform you.
I think it's most likely that we'll head to Garadra Gap. Of the two options, I think that works best for our group. But thank you. You've been very helpful.
Of course. And Josie, if there's a handshake or a saying that the Gatherhold does, we'll do that and let you go on your way.
Cool. I'll find where everyone else is, whatever they're doing. But
sure.
Cut to that.
Anyone else doing anything?
It's a really good question.
Yeah, I sort of.
Yes, but it's kind of a silly thing that he's probably going to do on any number of the days. Not silly, but like not consequential.
Let's go.
I think the one thing.
Go
on. The one thing Ghost will do now that he's back, it might not happen immediately, but if people split off and do certain things, you and I will discuss about what my memories are post the Hall of a Thousand Mirrors. But I think one of the first things he does...
I think we can discuss that before you decide on what to do.
Sure.
If it's coming into the forefront of your mind, seems to be a feeling that has hovered over you on the boat ride down. Especially in that fight as well, is you didn't let off a lot of shots. You didn't really go on the offensive. And you notice that you don't feel that rage when you get put in those pressured situations. You almost felt like you had to protect those on the boat. And now that everything's kind of calmed down a bit and people might start heading off on their own ways, you see Puck walk off and maybe Hera goes a different direction, and you've all agreed to meet at a certain place or whatever, but seeing them leave kind of fills you with a bit of sorrow. But you have to remind yourself, no, they are coming back. And you reflect on why your family didn't take you back. And you can't quite remember the reason you left.
I know I was in the war.
You're in the war.
I know I left. But kind of a blank.
And if anything, it's not... One, you can't remember why you left, but two, you don't understand why your family have never come after you. That's almost the twist, is it's not you left, it's why didn't I go back?
And why didn't I go back, and why didn't they find me?
Yeah.
So actually that's going to tie in perfectly. So I've got a fair decent amount of gold. I'm going to go and find a tailor.
Tailor. Yep.
And I'm going to buy a new coat. It'll be very similar to the last one I wore, except this one will be finer stitched. The one I was wearing had dwarven stitching to it, very like hammered buttons. The rest of it, but this one will be of a finer material, fine stitching, a little bit more dress worthy. probably get some new pants as well. And he'll probably find a local barber to tidy up his hair a bit more similar to the photo that Ian has on that magic card, like cut back away from his eyes, not shadowing over his face,
Sure.
and sort of just clean himself up a bit.
Okay. I like that. I'm going to say 50 gold total to go between the places, and yeah, you find a tailor up in Ipfis End, the theatre district, and you can customize it a little bit, and they sit with you and work around it. They keep the conversation going. It's a gnome tailor that keeps conversation going, but like never actually asks anything about you. You can tell that this tailor is very well versed in changing up people's appearances and stuff, but not needing to know their story. But still gets your story involved in this cloak. Doesn't ask any personal questions, but just keeps you talking the whole time. And you almost realize that you start to babble on without realizing it.
I'm a little short on 50 gold. I have exactly 46.5 gold. So I will offer him a relatively simple gold ring to cover the rest.
He'll take it. And in exchange, asks if he can put his flourish on the inside of the coat, as he kind of signs it with Demendez.
Demendez. I like it. Yes, brilliant. He'll kind of spend the rest of I think that the time he has away from the rest of the party, waiting for sort of your information from Puck to get back and that sort of thing, just cleaning up his gear.
Sure.
Putting a bit more care into like his appearance.
Yep. Here.
Yeah, I don't know whether one of the books I have is where I want to go for this, or whether I want to go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
I think suppose the book, that first, because I still don't know.
Ghost says volume 2.
Ghost says volume 2, but in book 1 is where I started sort of peeling away at the Yellow Emperor. So I probably won't be like reading into it, but probably maybe skimming more, searching if anything pops out. We'll stop and have a proper read. But I want to sort of find some time to sit down and go through the Book of the Sun. And I want to look for anything to do with any of the houses, especially Kenneth or
Jorosco.
Yeah.
Sure. Can you give me a intelligence check, please?
Check. 11.
You go to the library. It's up in the academic district, and it's quite grand. Definitely a little bit under-resourced here, as flashy as New Throne is. Remember, they are cut off from a lot of the world. You kind of find a place to sit and study, and you go to pull out the book, and it's there. It's in your bag. It's not missing. But you kind of think it has skin as its cover. Okay, so you change desks, and you actually go a bit further to the back of the library and make sure you're kind of facing away from anyone that might walk past, and just find a bit more secure spot to pull this thing out and read it. Flicking through the pages, though, you're looking for any mention of the houses. With an 11, I feel like you do very surface level read through it. but you do get the intention that this book was written quite a while ago.
Right, pre any of that existence.
Maybe there were
That side of
houses, but they weren't the dominant forces of everyone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's almost something that I can pull out of it.
Yep.
As well, even.
But you almost spend a bit of time making sure that no one's watching you read this. You're spending more time worried about the book than reading it. So that's going to take up a little bit of time there. Molokov.
Oh, I get you. So
Go on. No, okay, Hero, go.
I was just going to say one thing, but that it's more to do with at the end when we all get back together. But Ghost all cleaned up the next time I see him, is that going to give me any sort of memoir of what he looked like in the dream state?
It's going to be a little closer, yeah. It's not... The dream state was like the ultimate polished regal form of
but
Ghost. This is just... He's just tidied up a bit. Like
direction sort of thing.
I think you clock that though, Hero. You clock that you... Not even just Ghost, you look around the party and you've seen Puck disappear into shadows in the caves. You've seen Molokov look at the different mechanical bits in the Hall of a Thousand Mirrors, and now you see Ghost a little bit more polished. And you just notice that you're a step closer.
Okay. That definitely, just the slightly cleaning up of Puck, I think, of Ghost, is probably clicks the connection of those things, and that's definitely going to sit with Hera for a minute or two.
you will see, I don't know if Hera will clock it necessarily, but if you get a look at the back of Ghost's head, you see what almost looks like a burn. It's just running just past his hairline now, just past his hairline, down the back of his neck. Sort of a red, deep red birthmark almost. Probably doesn't mean much to you.
No, but definitely will notice that.
Molokov.
Yeah, so we're still sort of on day one.
I think we're talking a day here.
We're doing
sussing out information, seeing what we can do. Some people have just gone shopping.
Yeah. And I think first day back in town, we've been up all night. We still have not slept yet. I think the first... Molokov's... he loves Hera, but he's sick of eating fucking whatever cooked up insect mandible that she's serving up on the road, and he's going to go down to the markets and have a look at the food and see what he can find, and if he can, while he's there, keep his ear open for anything that might have happened in the city since we were here. You know, obviously ears pricked for the name Jarosco being thrown around, if they've made themselves known for any reason, since I know that the city doesn't like them particularly. And they were passing through. Well, they must have.
Sure.
So, but as I'm going through the market, I'm sort of, I've got Kaida out on my forearm, and I'm sort of, you know, we found you in the cave. I don't actually know what you eat, and I'm just sort of almost letting him sniff at the different foods, and I'm trying to figure out what he wants to eat. And
sure. Why don't you roll me
myself and him
a d20?
Yeah, that's a 14.
It's gonna be scorpions on a skewer or something.
Not quite. It seems to take a liking to beef. Kind of cooked meats. You find a couple of salted meats and stuff like that at a vendor, and get a couple of little chunks. You also find some nice fruit and vegetables, some cheeses. Stockpile a little bit that some of the luxury foods that you you like
It
to
had been missing.
have been missing. 5 gold.
Right.
5 gold can set you back for all the ingredients and stuff to put some stuff together. But give me a perception check, listening,
Yep.
if that helps.
Perception. Plus a whole 1. So that's a 12.
12. You're trying to get a sense of what this town is feeling like since you left, since the Moon Mother. And there are still little tiny whispers of, oh, did you hear about the assassination and the of the council, and the elections? We'll have to sort something out. Someone needs to fill in those seats. So that's kind of almost a void at the moment. Do you think we're safe here? What was that?
I was like, I've almost forgotten about that.
Yeah.
It's so long ago.
So it seems like New Throne hasn't collapsed with power, but nothing seems to be happening now. Oh, I wish they would clean up the gutters
almost-
in the old town, but no one's made that call. And
There's a vacuum,
Yeah.
and it almost feels like everything's about to collapse, or like the quiet before a storm almost.
I wouldn't even say
Essentially.
about to collapse. I would say that the town knows that when a council member dies or resigns, they have to go through a process to vote someone in. Everyone in New Throne gets to vote. I think you guys got that information. But now there's like 6 or 7 that aren't there. So this is just going to be a nightmare of administration work and all that stuff. And everyone's just a little bit on edge, being like, oh, do you think so-and-so will go for it? Or who do you think will... normally when there's one spot, you have 4 or 5 candidates, and then you have 2 candidates, and then one wins. Now we have 7 or 8 spots of those Dragonborn that died in the assassination. Like, that's a lot of new people stepping up to power at one time. That's kind of the feel of the town at the moment.
And then for the afternoon, I'm going to take my food to whatever form of a park or like
Nice.
edge of the harbor I can find, and I'm going to sit there. I'm going to be chatting away to Kaida the whole time.
Nice.
And I'm always going to, at one point, now that we're back in town, I don't know, like, I feel like you can understand me. I just look. You don't.
Chomps
I
down
brought
another
you
bit
the
of
two-
beef. Like,
I brought you into 2 dungeons now, and you only just got out of one, and you can fly away if you want. Or you can come with me. I sort of knock the armor.
yeah.
Can protect you pretty well, but
It
I will not be offended.
it looks up at you, and then looks like out to like if you're in like a little park area, looks up to like the trees and see it kind of like for the first time spreads its wings a little bit, and almost does a bit of a stretch, and looks back at you and looks at the tree, looks back at you.
I
Beats
was
it.
hoping you'd say that.
Beats its wings and flies up to the tree and around it and flies over to the next tree and just kind of glides between them. And you see a couple of Dragonborn looking up and, well, little dragon. Like, that's quite a nice thing to see. A kid points up at it and then it glides back and sits next to you. And as it does, a blue Dragonborn is on the bench next to you, eating a sandwich. Looks up and goes, oh, quite little creature you have there. Does it have a name?
Yes, she's Kaida.
Guide.
Which means little flame in my home language.
Oh, extraordinary. And where are you from? I don't mean to point out the obvious, but like gestures to his scales and then to your fur.
Across the waves. You know of Zendrik?
I've read about it. I Never had the opportunity to travel there. What do you recommend?
It's not for the faint-hearted. Neither is the trip there. But it is a truly beautiful place.
Well, I'm well versed in travel myself, although keeping to the mainland is normally my forte. Cleansel reaches out his hand. Pleasure to meet you.
Olakov. Pleasure.
So, tell me,
What's his name? Krenzel?
Cleansel, Clencel. Did you venture from Zendrick to Newthrin? What brings you here? A lovely city, don't get me wrong, but in all my days of trading, I haven't seen much of your kind.
Molokov's in a good mood, but we have been through a lot of shit lately. So I think he is going to still squint a little bit suspiciously at this guy and give it a little insight check. Is he asking these questions a little too eagerly?
Roll me an
Or
insight.
does he just seem like a
I love that I've
civilian
installed this in the
and
party.
friendly? Yeah.
Does he have a
That Molotov
heartbeat or does he
beach.
bleed oil?
Yeah.
No, definitely blame it on the he's too tired. That was a natural one.
Yeah, this guy's just... He's still sitting on his own bench. He's just seems to be striking up a
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, to be honest, I'm not quite sure how I got here. A bit of a traveler myself.
Concerned straight away hits on his face. He's like, "Are you okay? You don't know how you got here?"
Ah. Never quite goes the way you think, does it?
Never does. Especially when traveling great distances.
You seem like you know your way around.
I am getting on a bit nowadays, but I've got a few voyages left in me. I hope so.
You're a captain, you then.
Yes. Captain of the Raphael.
Ooh. Raphael. Oh. Well. You weren't planning on making any voyages soon, were you?
Gestures down to his sandwich and goes, "Enjoying one last meal before everything's covered in sea salt."
Oh, you set sail today.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Round noon would be the best time. We're heading for the glorious city of towers, Shan.
Of course you are. Molokov like always resists swearing to himself. Had to be the season to get the fucking Shan.
Have you been before?
Sort of grimaces and I have. Yes.
Well, I mean, you might be able to help me with a few directions then. I've landed in port before, but this trip is a bit more personal, not business. Pleasure, not business. That reaches into his pocket and goes, "You might have seen." And he hands you a clipping. If you want to read this.
Oh. Ancient artifact to go on show. Moorgrave, Shan. The recently discovered lidless crown. Fucking okay. Is to be a publicly on show at Kalema Hall in Shan. The fabled lidless crown, thought by historians to be nothing more than a fable, has come into the possession of the college. Interesting. Head curator at Lawhold College, Professor Augusta Tullis.
The brackets
Lawhold
were
is
because
a
you
good
would
one.
recognize that.
Yeah, gotcha, understood. Yep. Lawhold is... Oh, Lawhold's my house. Fucking... so yes, cool. Tullis says she will be pleased to be able to prove all the so-called experts wrong when the piece goes on display. Tullis was unable to confirm the opening date of the exhibition, but assured us that plans were underway to exhibit the lidless crown and charm soon.
Hands it over to you and
Interesting.
goes, definitely a chaser of treasures myself. You do find things on the high seas, but this does catch your interest, does it not?
I sort of gesture at the dragon and the various like artifacts and runic things. I'm a purveyor of curiosities myself.
What else is there to do in this world? Finishes off his sandwich.
You wouldn't have room on that boat of yours for a couple more, would you?
Kind of looks a little bit taken aback, but a little bit. You could see your interest growing as well. How many are we talking?
Well, if we could, it would be 4 of us.
Wouldn't say no to having a few extra hands on deck if you can last the journey.
Oh. And the dinosaur.
He looks down at Kaida and is like, I wouldn't quite call it a
little bit bigger than this one.
I see. His mind, you can see straight away goes to like a T-Rex.
yeah. Not sort of like stammers, trying to
gives a grin and
scalers.
puts his hand up and goes, sort out your cargo and what you need. I would be definitely willing. I can't pay you per se, but in return I can provide you shelter on the journey. You definitely have travelled from another continent, so you must know what it is like on the waters. But it is a 7-day journey. We will be making a stop in... oh gosh. I did have this before. I think it's Zilgaro. Yes. We will be making a stop in Trolenport in Zilgaro. As you know, the gnomes have quite a luxurious library there. I do need to check out some information on some things, but 7 days, I believe it would take us to arrive in the City of Towers. We leave tomorrow at noon. We'll be leaving from the Harbour District. If I do see you there, I look forward to it, but we do have a schedule to keep. I will not wait around if you do not show.
Of course. Please don't. I appreciate it. I really do. It's good to meet such a friendly person, and it seems it's very fortuitous that I came here this day with my little friend.
There's no such thing as luck. It stands up and goes, I didn't quite catch your name.
Molokov.
Pleasure. Well, if I don't see you tomorrow, I'm sure you'll have a grand adventure on your own. Gives a
And
nod.
you too, my friend.
Packs up his little lunchbox and heads off.
Oh, that was lovely. I missed the name of the city that we'll be stopping off in.
Trolenport. It is the capital of Zilargo.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but just to add a third option, did the Duke not tell us that he would be able to give us transport if we managed to get back here successfully because he has a giant teleport stone? I think that might have been discussed yonks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can go and seek him out if you want.
I think we'll have to before we leave. Should probably tell him a version of events, but I'll wait till the whole party converges to talk about that.
Sure. If there's nothing else anyone wants to do in that singular day, you arrive back.
In.
What's that?
I said, we'll find us an inn.
Yes.
Get a bed.
You hold up in an inn called the Pint and Piety. And you secure, I'll say, 2 or 3 rooms, like you normally do, and can split them up as you are. But you can all collectively go down for a meal. It's a nice, warm meal. The chef is great, and it's not too busy. It's getting to late afternoon now, but you all kind of reconvene.
Well, we were looking for the easy option of the two. It seems one of them has fallen in my lap, so to speak.
I imagine you briefly catch us up on the travel option.
Yeah, I'll mention that. Yeah, we can go to Shan, but we will have to leave tomorrow we have to be there by midday. On the docks. Met a very lovely blue dragonborn. He's a great guy. Won't hear a bad word against him. Yeah, heading to Shan. I'll mention specifically the clipping that I found. Specifically, just looking at Hera, being like, "Hey, Lawhole, my schools found this apparently." And because it was what was it? It's the crown. So this is presumably
Yeah, I was going to say,
Roscoe found.
Join that dot.
What Jorosco are after.
Yeah, Jorosco's
No, it's
after
it's
it.
what they did. No, because the crown is the. Sorry, I was thinking the crown was the one that was in Aldir.
Butterfly.
Yeah, no, but that's the butterfly.
Butterfly and
No,
which is done.
You're right. You're right. The crown is Shan. So
Because I remember we weren't sure
Connect
what
those
that
dots
was going to
there.
be. That was whether it was
Yeah.
someone to do with the royal family or whatnot. But so obviously that's what this is. Then
Yeah.
obviously there's also this
So
talk of an
I think that's
explosion.
another point in Shan's favor is that that's a pretty clear. We know what we're looking for if we go there.
Yeah.
Even if we don't know the date that it's going to happen, we can presume that this is going to happen pretty soon.
As this conversation arises, can I just ask
Yep.
Puck, hey, have you got that sending stone?
Mhm.
Do you
I
mind?
don't know if I.
Do one more
I think
message
I think I borrowed it from you, but yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm just gonna drop that in my bag of holding
Sure.
before we
Cool.
start
Good
talking
call.
about all of this stuff.
Mm.
Because as like you said, Puck, about being suspicious and talking thieves can't. If I'd been there last
Yeah.
week, I would have had the exact same thought process of like listening ears.
Yeah. I just want to quickly point out again to hear another point in this favor is there's a big ass gnome library on the way with this trip.
Are the gnomes well known for their artivists and arcanists in the world of Khorvaire?
Yeah, definitely in Zalagro. Had this up just before. So Zalagro, you guys would know, is a gnomish nation in the south of Khorvaire. It is best known for its national newspaper, elemental binding, bards, Korenberg library, and diplomatic expertise.
Here's my thing. Sorry.
Is you?
Hey Puck, what did you get up to today?
Yeah, cool. Yes, but I spoke with Roka again, the associate from my house. I think it'll be quite easy for us to get to Krona Peak, which is nearby to the Moorholds. There's regular trade going on between here and there, so we should be able to pay our way or something. Just like realizing that I didn't even look where Krona Peak. Oh yeah, cool. Krona Peak is like dead in the center. But interestingly, there seems to be quite a lot of activity from Jarasco in the area. The what did I write down? Goradra Gap volcano has been making the news. There's references to giant trolls and strange lights in the sky. And Jarasco is prepping for a major eruption, setting up camp in Frostmantle. I was gonna. So there's Frostmantle. There's Krona Peak.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we should be very easily able to get to Krona Peak. Reese, do we know if it's if Goradra Gap is a famous place? Do we know where it is? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Cool.
I think it's just a little
very
bit
similar
blurred.
color to the text. Yeah. No, cool. Yep. Yeah.
So it
cool.
looks like it's a day or two's travel away from Frostmantle
Yeah, cool.
by foot.
Do any of these names mean anything to you, Ghost?
I mean,
Give me a history
I
check.
know of the places. Because I believe I spent most of my time at the north end of the Mirror Lake,
Yes.
but with a history check of 22.
With 22. Yes, you definitely know. Goradra Gap is a 100-mile long gash in the earth, and surrounding it is very heavy volcanic activity. Said to be molten rock from the realms of Kyber itself. You know
So it's
that
not abnormal for there to be volcanic activity in the Frostmantle. However, increasing activity and giant creatures and strange lights and Jarasco's
involvement probably
involvement.
hint towards something. You do know that the dwarves use this molten rock to, put the molten rock into a sword, so therefore it's a magic sword that does lightning damage or something. The magma has magical properties, and maybe that's because it is brought up from the realms of Kyber / the Underdark.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Okay, so we potentially know what crown is that Jarasco were looking for, but the reports of them sending aid to the Frostmantle would tell me that there's some sort of contest there. Perhaps the Emerald Claw are already there, working on their own plans.
We certainly don't know how far the Emerald Claw stretches. We've cut off one head, but how big was that cell? How involved? Who's listening to the earworms?
That's a fair point.
I think our best bet is to get to Goradra Gap, rather than going to Shan. We know something is happening there. We have a location specifically to head to, rather than a city, the biggest city.
We have
Still know what we're looking for there now, though.
we have an endgame in Shan, exactly. Yeah, we'd be turning up to the Frostmantle with little more than the knowledge that there's shit going down. Unless we get in touch with Jarasco.
Or do you get in touch with the people you know in the Bullholds?
I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not sure if they'll have any involvement. They might have some information of strange things going down, but people I know are, how do I put this? The people I know were after the people I trusted, and that didn't go down so well, so I don't think my standing there is necessarily, reputable. Regardless, it could be some insider knowledge. Fire,
Something
right?
to
That
see
was
a
the symbol on
pattern.
that map.
Yes.
Something to do with fire.
Starting to see a pattern.
Ugh.
The places I've been and the things I've left, yeah. I haven't exactly set myself up with a good reputation.
Dinner arrives at the table.
In retrospect, it means a lot of people know my name.
Explains why you have to.
Which name do I know?
The only one I gave out freely. Ghost, of course. But then what do we do when we get there? Let's assume both factions are working on these same locations. Emerald Claw will want something from it. Jurassico will want the opposite. Or perhaps they're similar, but one interrupts the other. If we can only go to one, then we can only interrupt one. We've
I
already
think
put many thorns in the side of the Emerald Claw.
A table
Help
next
me
to
out
you
here.
roars with laughter.
Yeah.
It's a hen's night.
it is risky, but I was thinking I could maybe use the orb. Maybe I mention to my professor, without being too forthright, I guess, maybe to increase the security on the crown. Something along those lines. Mention that we think it's possibly a sought after item. But then again, that's using the stone. I don't know how trustworthy it is.
The
What of your
waitress.
professor, Molokov? Oh,
The waitress comes round. Desserts, anyone? Closing kitchen soon.
Absolutely.
Take some
do you have any
orders.
candied bacon?
You know what? We actually do.
That'd be great.
And it goes off again. You can tell the tavern's emptying out a little bit. There's like a drunk orc in the corner. A couple of dragonborn around. The hen's night is still... They're now singing karaoke songs. Someone casts Scorching Ray as they say heat.
Were you asking about my professor?
Oh, I
Didn't
was.
quite hear the
Sorry.
question.
What? I never finished. I ordered candied bacon. What's your relationship with them like? If you were sending them a message that you needed them to take seriously, how seriously would it be kept?
School has come through for me in many an occasion. I trust them. especially.
Mm.
To be fair, he's the head. Is he the head of Lawhold? Is that what it said?
That's
or
Augusta Tullus
he
is
just-
the head.
Ah, yeah. Is he? What are my
She.
opinions on? What do I know about him? She, sorry.
I don't think you would have had much to do with the head
Yeah.
of the
Okay.
college. Just trying to find, because there's a couple of different faculty members. I can't find it right now, but yeah, there's a couple of different faculty members.
Yeah, like I imagine if I was going to send a message, I wouldn't send it to him. I would
No.
send it to one of my professors. What is going on?
Washing.
The Hens Night starts getting their own drinks from behind the bar. Augusta is like the dean of Lawhold. She's high up.
Yeah.
You would have had stuff to do with professors and stuff within the college.
Yeah. Yeah, but I imagine I would have a professor I could trust.
Yes.
To send a message to the list.
Yes.
I don't know much about this professor, but I could get someone a message. And they would listen.
Here we go. Yes. So Augusta is the dean of order. Plarg is the dean of chaos. Lawhold being order and chaos, the house. There's Hoffrey, who is a student turned master of the arts. There's Osrig, the reconstructor, obsessed with relics of the past. That's probably the one you know. And Loshil, clockwork scholar. Well, I can send you those because you would know them.
Sweet. Easy.
Oh, my brain.
Look, you all know I have reasons to not want to go there, but I think you're right on what you were going towards there, Ghost, and that perhaps I can hope that the Emerald Claw and House Dorosco will cancel each other out at the Roholds. And maybe we can get ahead of them with this crown. I don't know. If we've heard about the crown, they've heard about the crown.
Of course.
I'm gonna throw in a little spanner in the works here that probably was mentioned in your investigation. It takes a day to get to Krona Peak.
That's
Via skyship.
as opposed to the Sedan.
That being said, once you're in Corona Peak, you have to get to Garajika. They're not the same place.
Right. Yeah, gotcha.
Would I know? Oh, I might not. If we were to take the lightning rail from Krona Peak, how long would it take us to get to Shan?
That's a good question because the lightning rail does not go through the Mournlands anymore. So you'd have to go up round Carnath and then down from Owendair. I do have a calculation I can work out, but not off the top of my head.
We're definitely looking at days.
Yes.
Yeah.
See where your head's at though. If we can hit the mountains and then make a mad dash.
So Frostmantle's kind of on the way to Krona Peak. It's a little bit diverted, but
If we have enough money, we can also just ask them to drop us as close to Garajika Peak as we want anyway as well. See if they are interested in that.
Fly by drop off? Probably pretty risky for the pilot. Might cost a pretty penny.
Hey, you done it in the jungle. Just crash the ship.
Less than ideal. Thank you, voice of God.
As you like cuts to Garunda backspacing that little bit that you crashed the ship out of the story.
Hmm.
So what are we thinking? It's you guys are exhausted now. Night has come around. The
Should we
bar is
go through
emptying.
who's leaning where?
I'm leaning to the Moorholds because
Same.
at least there's an organization in Shan through your professor through the College of Lawhold that means they could take a message and keep things relatively safe or put a delay on the exhibition just long enough for us to get there. That might also put them at risk. We don't know who's infiltrated the college or if anything else.
Hmm.
And it's not like we could just drop in and be like, hi, so remember me, old student. By the way, gonna have to take your item, or you need to lock that thing down in the middle of nowhere. Like, no, what professor in their right mind takes an ancient artifact which is designed to prove theories wrong for so many other I've forgotten the word, academics, that they're just gonna say, oh well, okay, better take you seriously.
That's why I think it's
However,
worth sending a message to my professor, because the other professor hearing something from another professor might sound more feasible, might land on his ears a bit more gently than just, like you say,
And
some
since
ex-students going,
and it was
I don't
your
pull
one.
the crown out, someone's going to steal it.
Yeah.
bloody hell,
And it was
here.
your guy that set us off. Sent us off on our
Yes.
mission.
There's more than just floof
Yeah.
between those ears. That's a really good idea. Sorry.
That's cutting words.
I like that plan. That leaves us free to take our time and investigate up in the Moorholds. I could pull on some old networks, but they wouldn't really be able to tell us much about what Juraska's up to down there. Or the Claw.
Do you direct the Sahara directed at Puck? Do you have any contacts that far north? I know that you're sort of people who come from the plains just below, well, still above us, but anyone that's far north that you have close connections with, or
Not close connections, but any major city will have, even many towns will have Galander representatives.
I guess true. It's,
I
will
wouldn't be
always be
surprised if there was
beneficial.
something in Frostmantle, but there'll definitely be something in Corona Peak.
Well, that's an avenue for information as well, I suppose. Once we get up there.
So yes, Corona Peak is the capital.
Yep.
Well, perhaps we could talk to the Duke. If Krona's the capital and we can get an airship in that direction, let's say we pay extra for drop-off, if we can get back there, then we could probably get passage back to Khorvaire, back to New Throne. I believe the Duke still owes us a favor. He could potentially send us straight to Shan. Oh, and on that note, what do we tell him?
I think we can tell him the truth.
So,
That'll be a tough pill to swallow. But I think it's probably wise. He has the interest of his people in heart. All in favor?
Okay,
All holds it is.
roll holds it is. So you wrap up and go back to your rooms. Finally, a bed with a mattress and blankets.
I do a cheeky one last thing before bed.
Yeah.
Because I want to do it before we all break off.
Yep.
Ghost, can I grab the sending stone?
Yep.
We head off.
Just
Sure. Sure.
think carefully about your words, I guess. And then I'll
Of
call it up.
course. Hera, should we go step outside and give our friends back home a call?
Oh, you mean to say our friend or our friend?
I have been curious ever since you heard your word.
Not going to lie, ever since we've been given that orb, I think I've been thinking the same thing.
You're thinking what I'm thinking, B1? I think I am, B2.
C1, C2, but what do you think we say?
You see, he is truly drawing a blank here. I almost can't even begin to think of what I'd say to her if I could. I think Molokov should sort of. I think we will have stepped outside for this as
Sure.
well. I think he would have
The evening's still
wanted
humid,
to
but
just be with.
the streets are emptying. They're pretty empty at the moment.
Sort of offer the stone to her if she wants to make the call, or
What do we get? 25 words, eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
And a response.
You may respond to this message. Wording on the
those are 3 words. Research and wanted to do this before the break.
No, of course. An orc stumbles out of the bar and night, lads. Goes on. You get that feeling that it's just you two. You've sat outside a pub many a days in uni days. You can hear the town going to sleep. What would you like to do?
Are you calculating words over there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of executives and ways to maybe shorten them or like
You
how
also
to phrase
don't.
things. I don't know, but that's something I'm trying to think of
Okay.
what to even say. Like, it's I'll sort of
I
almost be
think
holding the gem and look up to it. It's a very strange opportunity that we have. My fear is how she will react.
not if.
Not if. How.
Will we keep it simple then? It would be enough to know she responded.
I think it's best, and I'm gonna hand it back to you to do the message.
Sort of as he takes it, you can almost see a hand that you're used to seeing so steady shaking a little bit.
Oh, sorry, it's a circuit. Let me just fix that for a second.
Yeah, it's just one finger going like. um. Okay. Sort of stare at the stone for a second and think of Maeve as I last saw her, and then sort of shake my head and not want that to be the image, and
You see
think of it.
the end, but that image does flash into your mind, even though you do try and steer away from it. She's at the end of that alleyway, and you're sweating, you're out of breath, and they grab her, and she looks back at you, and you just see the fear in her eyes as they grab her around that corner.
Cast sending, trying to target Maeve.
What do you say?
Maeve, it's Molokov. Are you okay? We thought you were dead. Take the crown if you can.
Anything else?
We missed you. That's it.
You wait a moment, and you kind of look up at Hera, almost expecting to see Maeve sitting there, the three of you. There is no response. But you get the sense that the message was received.
Scene.
Left on red. The stone loses its energy.
And, I guess I was wrong.
No, she was there.
No, yes, I mean, I was worried how she would respond. Not if. Guess if this is just as bad.
Well, I agree.
This is a lot. I'm gonna pull out and roll a cigarette and take a few steps away from Molotov and just sort of walk and sort of just stand out in the middle of the street.
Burn. No.
Don't do that to me.
Oh,
The funnier thing is, it's more likely to be like
Yeah.
like a horse and carriage just slowly over me.
Sorry, you're in the middle of the street.
I think Molotov will like go to her and then leave it, and I think he'll sort of pretend to be, I don't know. I mean, like get out a piece of scrap and start like tinkering with it, just pretending to be doing something else while he waits for
Yep.
here to be done before we go back to our room. I assume unless
No,
unless you stand out there all night, in which case I'll probably
no. Well, you
Do
can just see
something like
there's almost like a frustration on her face more than anything. There's something there, but she's not spilling the beans as such.
All right. As you reflect on that, however you might want to take it, you eventually do go up and have a rest. So you can all have a long rest. And we come to the morning of the next day. Whether you wish to try and get to the docks by midday, or I think Ghost, you wanted to go and talk to the Duke. What's the action plan?
Happy to let Ghost run.
We weren't going to the docks. We weren't going to the docks, were we? We were trying to follow up on your lead of an airship.
Sure.
Did you want to talk to the Duke though?
But also, yes, also talk to the Duke.
Yeah, cool.
I think give me a
And we're telling him the truth.
just give me a straight charisma check, Ghost, in the docks.
Christ. Can I guide myself?
You can do whatever you need to.
With my renewed vigor of like not trying to displease people? It's okay. That is a 16 plus 1 minus 1 for a 16.
A 16. Cool. Can you now roll me a d4?
1.
Brilliant. You find that same drunken orc that was in the tavern the night before. Do you mind muting? And he flies a skyship. It leaves the next day. Normally, skyships are allowed to leave once every morning. You've missed that one for the day. But he definitely can fly you to Corona Peak. It's a cargo ship. There's not a lot of comfort on board. But if you don't demand anything from him, he won't demand anything from you. Basically, as stowaways, although it's not illegal kind of thing. And when you mention if you choose to, mention the detour of Frostmantle. You rolled a 1 on the D4, right? He will do a flyby for 500 gold pieces.
That was going to be my question. Is so? What are the chances you could do just a low pass of? I can't
won't-
remember the name of this game.
He won't stop, but he will do a flyby.
I have 86 gold
It's a
pieces.
good ratchet grab. I have
And
6
his
silver.
name is Captain Burgash. Oh,
We
yeah,
have
Burgash.
a
Hamburger.
safe landing from a flyby.
He says that's up to
We
you.
have our tokens.
I can help with the landing.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that sounds reasonable for the 4 of us for travel and whatnot. Will there be, I suppose, some? You can be some help on the decking as well. But
Do we have
guys want,
500 gold between us?
I have.
This
500.
fucking Jurassic never fucking paid us.
I mean, perhaps the Duke will have something for us, but don't we also have a couple of like straight up platinum
Yes.
statuettes and that sort of thing?
I have a penannula of
I-
solid emerald and a solid platinum hand, which combined is going to be worth way over 500.
Yeah.
I
Definitely keep hold of the
I-
platinum hair. That's going to be worth shitloads.
Dale, you've been
Yeah,
trying to say
I
something for
don't
like
buy
2
it.
minutes.
Sorry.
I have enough gold. We don't have to sell.
Brilliant.
You have 500 gold?
Well, I have 300 gold and 100 platinum, mainly for the traveling and stuff for us to get around. So
I actually
can-
think this is the first time this has actually come up. Dale.
You can pay for this
Well,
trip 3 fucking times over.
Well, we haven't had to pay for travel very much. We got our way here was with some friends and stuff. We the boat up and down the river. We didn't have to pay. So
Did you
I
know
had
about
no
this?
idea our travel budget, but I did not know our travel budget was this big. No, I knew we
How
got
do you-
first class on our trip here. It's a trip
Yeah.
to Vatheron. I was like, that was
was-
fancy, but I assumed they paid from the fucking. It was from
They
the
did pay.
city.
Yes, they have given me some coins to pay. Yes.
Good grief.
So here's me knowing that this has been on his side pouch for so long, and every time it's Hera that's gone down, and I'm like, you're not going to loot his body. Like, there's so much gone.
Hey, we don't loot our other party members.
If they die, we do.
If Hera went
Yeah,
up
pick
or
up.
down.
Actually died, then yeah, we'd be like, what can we, like, is there something on here that we can use to help resurrect, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Imagine that was the first time you came across the gold.
Hey, Hera,
We're
you know
just
that
like,
ring?
I guess
What
you'll
do you
take what
mean
she's
you've got?
Holy fuck!
You know that ring I gave you? I've upgraded. There's a new one. Just put this one on.
100 fucking platinum.
I thought I was flush.
Well, I mean, it
Alright,
is
well,
not my gold as such. It is for us to get around.
I'm not arguing. We pay the man, I guess.
Okay,
Six.
fine.
The D4 was increments of 500.
5, 6,
Ooh, that's very good.
9, 10,
You can deduct 500 gold from your
13,
trust fund baby stash.
14,
Unbelievable.
15.
That's brilliant.
I love that. And also that you guys were talking over Dale, like, while he was
Fucking
trying to say
hilarious.
it.
That was
I can literally imagine them all like discussing what these and here just being like,
oh, I could listen.
I have I
No, don't get rid of that. No.
Okay. So it's agreed that you will fly the next morning with Captain Burgash on his cargo ship, and detour via Frostmantle. So you have the day. You have another day in New Throne. Anything we want to check off before we board the ship? A day and a night, basically.
Can I just check? Do we actually want to go to Frostmantle, or do we want to try and go straight to Garaja Gap?
That's what I thought. Like, if you do a low flyby of Garaja Gap, we can drop into the gap, and then we're only an hour or two away from actually trekking into there.
Yep. So I will say that the
with
gap
my-
is like a location. It'd be like saying like Mount Ruapehu
Yeah,
or something like that, whereas Frostmantle is a town.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, it's a town. Okay, cool.
I still feel like we're better off
Um,
dropping nearer to Garaja Gap. Like
Yeah,
if we
I
drop on
think
the side of Garaja Gap that is on the same side as Frostmantle, we can walk to Frostmantle pretty quickly if we need to actually go there.
Yeah. Well, that's going to make it a little riskier. The Garaja Gap is actively volcanic.
That's
Just
why he
close
doesn't
enough.
want to stop.
Yeah, just close enough is all.
The only thing I'll probably I just had a quick thought. I'll probably try and collect some inks and papers if I can. Some nice.
Sure.
We're in an actual city.
Yeah. Do you need to know the gold value of that?
I don't know. It's more for possible future necessities more than
Okay.
anything.
I think the way it works is it's like 50 gold of inks and papers per
level of the spell.
level of the spell, but that's halved for things that are in your
Spellbook
school. So necromancy
school,
spells will be half that.
Okay. So how much do you want to get?
Yeah, I suppose
Since you're
being
fucking
within
loaded.
a nice city, I will. Yeah, to be fair, I'll probably drop 100 gold on
Nice.
inks and papers and
Yep.
things along those lines.
Yep.
In my
Going back up into the academic
Yeah.
district, there's definitely stationery shops and alchemy shops that sell specific inks and papers that would be good to hear.
the new quill or something. But yeah, I've been thinking about the things that I've been finding and picking up and the
Yep.
the
If anyone else
gemstones that we
wants
have.
items.
Probably pick up on a couple of just like little, need some more rations because we've been eating them. And like, that sort of stuff. But I was wondering, is there anywhere that might sell something that I can use for Swift Scale in the sense of he is constantly being left behind or whatever, and this pet is a burden. I'm wondering if there's anywhere that sells anything that might aid in that.
How so? What are you looking for?
Like being able to put him into
Oh,
an item, like a Pokeball.
Oh,
or
right.
something.
Ah. Even like hire someone to look after him.
Oh, I don't want to leave him here. Is the thing.
No, of course.
But equally, like I have a pet, and like obviously now Obak is not around and things. But I'm like, the pets were constantly more of a hassle than anything.
Do you talk to Ghost about this at all? Because I imagine the idea
Yeah.
sparked from the fact that MB crawls into his bag of holding,
Yeah, I would
or
definitely
something similar.
express that I would like to do something like this to everyone.
Okay, I wouldn't know where to go in the city, but if we talk to the Duke, he knows all the ups and goings and roundabouts of who's in charge. Perhaps there's a particular archivist who might be able to do something like that. But I can tell you something like that would be really expensive.
I don't think cost is too much of an issue. Hopefully, but,
Now everyone's like, I can
It's
speak
alright,
big.
We could cross two birds off with one stone of these coalwork ashes, which are not necessarily something that I need. They're of high value to anyone who's in the arcane industry. Perhaps hold on a moment, and after our chat, we could see if there's a particular mage, head of state,
Sure.
or something like that.
I'm going to say you don't have any luck in New Throne. There's a couple of options I'm reading, but they're a little bit higher / probably in another place you're going to find that solution. But I'll keep an eye out for when you might come across it.
Cool.
What are the chances we could procure a couple of potions of enlargement reduction?
Mm-hmm.
Potions of reduction, should I say?
You definitely can.
I have
Yeah, I
one.
guess.
Puck does have one. Potion. Let me just get to it. What is enlarged reduction? What rarity is that? Do you know?
First level spell. Hold on.
No, the potion.
Oh, the potion. I wouldn't know exactly the.
I've got it here.
Okay. I imagine it'd be uncommon.
Uncommon, yeah. So you can choose enlarge or reduce. And they are $3.75 each.
They last for an hour.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, it's not quite the solution.
I do know the spell.
You do have an empty dragon shard.
2 empty dragon shards. 3 empty
one?
dragon shards.
I
Who has the
have
other 2?
Anyway,
I don't think
we
I have
can
any dragon shards.
we can work that out. Yep.
I would like to find some form of an alchemist. Not some form, actually. In fact, the best alchemist I can find.
Sure.
The
Not some charlatan.
No, I want to find someone who's got a proper shop, someone who's making their own stuff. The most quality alchemist shop I can find in this city. And I am going to put forward, see if if they think it's possible, and if not, B, would they know how I could reproduce it? I'm gonna hold out the vial of the silicon silence.
Okay.
That I took from the librarians, and I want to see if they either could replicate it for me here and now, or if they could tell me how to replicate it.
Yeah. Just working out what it would be. Okay, so to replicate it, it's going to be 380 gold pieces.
380. Would you consider a trade?
Depends what it is.
Something that I think you might find fairly useful, and I'll take out the vial or bottle or whatever I collected it in of clockwork oil. I believe it was.
Ah.
Where is it? Flask of clockwork oil.
Yeah.
Which is another alchemy component that I claimed off of.
Definitely. Yeah, they will agree to make the trade for all of the oil. uh, for an additional vial of silicon silence.
Sick. Awesome.
And that kind of takes the day to do as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, sick.
Now, Ghost, you make your way to where the Duke resides. And after talking to the guards and stuff, they recognize you and comment on you scrubbing up a little bit, but eventually they lead you through to the Duke. That would be Duke Vin Il Kislan. Welcome as you were, and so good to see you back. I've already noticed a difference in the mood of the people, and from what my scouts tell me, and the jungle is coming back to full health. So I commend, celebrate you for achieving such a thing. Your party is not with you. Did they all make it out okay?
Oh, yeah. They're all fine. Honestly, I thought they'd be coming with me today, but nope. I've been sent as a messenger.
There's nothing wrong with the messenger. I suppose a reward for helping the city is in order. Like I said, I can help you get where you need to go and where your next adventures may find them. Feel free to have use of the circle of teleportation in the house. It will get you to any capital city on Khorvaire.
That's extremely kind of you. And we have some business to take care of up north. We've already arranged passage, but in a few days you might come back
Of course.
looking for prompt travel.
Well, in that case, then he goes over to his desk or something. He pulls out a scroll and writes something on it and seals it with a wax seal of the new throne government. This will allow you one transportation from any capital city's teleportation circle to another's. It is a one-time use, though.
It's even better. That is going to make our journey a hell of a lot easier. Thank you, Duke. I kind of look around the room. Are we just in a private office?
Yeah, just in his
type thing?
chamber.
We all thought that there was something important that you should know.
Of course, all is.
It won't be easy information to hear. It'll be harder to... Well, you have your people's best interest at heart. I
Of
feel.
course, always.
How do I put this? So I start telling him about our journey up. I mentioned the Emerald Claw. Now we thought they might be responsible for what was going on. Does he recognize the name the Emerald Claw at all?
Yeah. I've heard of their doings around this. I think we suspected that it was them interfering with the Moon Mother. That's why we called on you and House Tarosco to help. I must send thanks back to Staraluska as well.
Of course. That may be wise. And then I'll recount what they were doing in the mountains with the Myconids, and that's where the poison was coming from.
Dreadful.
And that they had poisoned the Moon Mother and keeping her locked. And we sought of a way to free her and managed to. But the gate, they were after something beyond the plane, something the Moon Mother was guarding. And they almost made it until we set her free from her bonds.
He leans forward.
But But she chose to close the gate by sacrificing herself.
You see him like kind of nodding along. Like you said, we have our people to protect. And don't dwell on this though, Ghost. The Moon Mother lives on. You can believe that.
It is as she said. I need something to believe in. You don't seem surprised.
Sometimes what we have to do for those around us is it goes beyond physical means. Thank you for telling me this.
You're welcome. Seems the Emerald Claw are dipping their fingers into many aspects around Khorvaire.
Then that is where you must
The
go.
best we can hope to do is exactly hold them off.
Well, I wish you all the luck. Thank you for what you have done to our country.
Insight check.
What do you?
It's catching Ghost off guard that he's so nonchalant and sort of monotonous about this.
You can tell that he is thankful. He's very reflectful of it. But yeah, give me the roll.
Not great. 12.
You get from him the same feeling you did from the Moon Mother, in that by being in charge of the city, he's accepted that things need to be done. Sometimes that people don't see. Sometimes that will cripple his own success. But you can tell that he is doing this for the people of Khorvaire. Much the same way the Moon Mother did something for the purpose of something bigger.
I suppose if you do send your thanks to Star Alaska, I recommend it not be a bad call, but be wary of Hastroska. Though they have the best intentions, it seems they may be a little crude in their methods.
He looks a bit puzzled at this, and
don't offer them too much.
Strange for an employee of the house to warn against it. But I'll take the warning as you say. As you recall, that he has no knowledge of the separation. Shapiro and Onus went north to a skyship.
That's right. As I said, they have the best intentions.
As we all do. Well, anything else I can help you or your party with? You said you had sorted out your own means of travel. When do you depart?
It's in the morning, I believe.
Well,
I think we're well supplied.
Why don't we have a feast of thanks tonight? Meet by the hall, and we can enjoy a little bit of food before you have to suffer on rations again.
That would be quite a treat. As long as you don't mind me stealing some of your fine cheeses from the table.
Of course. Laughs at that and carries on the conversation a little bit, but a dinner is being put on for you tonight before your journey to the Moorholds tomorrow morning. Any last things to sort out during the day from anyone?
That was strange. I will ask him the best direction to go and to find essentially artifice supplies
Sure. He'll probably point you to the old town, some mechanical workshops and stuff. Is there anything specifically you're after?
No, not at the moment. However, I do have inventory, please. Don't actually have a lot of things I can trade. No, I think just some. I have a few materials myself, but I think I just need things a little bit finer, like maybe some wire,
Mhm.
And that sort of thing. Like I've got scrap and metal.
Yep.
But I will just pick up, let's say, 10 golds worth of all of those like little pieces.
Yeah, of course. That's plenty. Especially for scraps and wires and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I may even trade him some bulk material for that. And that will be all for now.
Nice. Anyone else? Cool. So, as you all kind of reconvene...
Hey, there's a feast on for us tonight.
I was going to say, you reconvene, Ghost, you give the news, so you make sure your bags are packed and stuff before heading up to the hall, and it's not a large crowd. A couple of nobles and stuff around, but the celebrations are around you, and the Duke is hosting. Doesn't make a huge deal about being saviors of the city or anything, but just kind of has put on this nice spread for some nobles, some diplomats, and you guys happen to be there as well.
For the sake of my own curiosity, walking into this banquet hall, I will tap the gem of true seeing.
Sure.
See if anything seems awry.
All as it seems, except for the 4 mage hunters positioned in the top corners of the building to make sure no spells or anything are cast or spellcasters come in to cause a havoc. And you eat well. You fill your bellies full of food and ale, ready to head towards the volcanic, snowy peaks of the Mrawholds, which we will obviously come to in a month's time when we are back from overseas. But before then, how about we level up to level 6?
Feel that one coming.
Yeah, it does.
As the
Can
Khorvaire
smell it
chapter...
I was like, surely before the break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Khorvaire chapter comes to a close. A lot of information. The first point of interest in these 2 factions
Yeah.
done, stopped, whatever you want to call it. And we head towards a new region. So we'll go around and roll your hit points.
I was going to say, just before while we're still sort of in character.
Oh no.
Oh no, we lost you.
Hold on.
You're a
Now.
robot.
Here's a robot. While we're waiting, what class you're going to take? We'll roll your hit points. You don't have to choose all your spells now.
Because it's
We'll wait.
He's still trying.
I know. Well, he's probably
That's the
stopped
same
trying.
sentence he's been saying for the last 30 seconds. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll my D8.
Hold on.
Okay.
It might be important.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, that was good.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you're back now. Way to kill the moment, Dale.
yeah.
But like I said, yeah, you can pick your spells and stuff over the break. Oh, now it's gone completely.
When I got a dog who's grumpy that I think my wife's home from
Yes.
the gym.
Oh, nice. Yes, I am aware it's gone a little bit later. Sorry, Ian, but I wanted to get that level up in.
Oh, I was happy as for this one to last as long as it needed to. I got the room to myself tonight, so
Oh, nice.
I'm not annoying Alex. Might be annoying the other flatties, but
That's all right.
I will also roll a d8.
Okay, well let's start with you, Ghost.
That's cuffed.
So, what level are you planning on taking?
fine because you told me not to.
I think with the wrap up at the end of this section, I'm still going with Artificer,
Cool.
and I have rolled a 6.
6, very nice. Yeah, again, you don't have to tell me exactly what spells you're choosing right now, so on and so forth. But what does this next level of Artificer look like to you?
Well, I get much better with my tools. So my
Cool.
proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check that uses tools.
Cool.
So I think this is going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more like lock picking and curious smithing and tinkering going on.
Yep. Like, where's Ghost's head going kind of thing.
Ghost, that's the thing. Like,
just so I've got an
He's-
idea as well,
yeah, I think this kind of is the end point of him being, an edgy artificer. He wanted to create things to like establish a name for himself, but with everything that's happened, he's now more focused on his truth seeking, his being a seeker and getting to the bottom of this and making sure the world doesn't fall apart, I guess. Particularly concerned about the fact that the Yellow-Eyed Emperor is turning people away from the path of death, the natural path of death.
Right.
That's a big thing on his mind. And I think he'll be reaching more for his seeker heritage to help kind of figure that out.
Cool. And
Quietly confident though.
6 HP, very nice. Puck.
Puck is getting another level in Rogue. And my level in Rogue is quite boring at this level. I just get some more expertise at 6.
Nice. So where's Puck's head at? What's he focusing in on expertise and?
I'm not really sure. I'll probably take perception and sleight of hand, really, because they're the ones that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be specific. I more meant like narrative wise, is Puck realizing he's a bigger part of the party in this aspect? Is he self-improving? Like, where's his head at?
I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Just what direction do you see Puck going in? Like now that he's gone through the Kabaran jungle and stuff.
Puck is pretty hell-bent on stopping. He's actually probably more focused on stopping Jurasco than the Emerald Claw.
Sure.
And I think in his mind, given that they tried to kill him, the rules of engagement have changed, and he will probably be a little more aggressive when it comes to them. Yeah, I think he kind of feels like his brother is aware of the danger around him and hopes that he is able to extricate himself, and feels like the safest way to make sure his brother is safe is to deal with Jurasco.
Sure.
Doesn't trust anything that Josu Keeling has said or done, and is ready to, I guess, get involved in that.
Nice.
But as I say, he's probably more focused on Jurasco than on the Emerald Claw at the moment.
Sure.
Because he does not believe that what they're doing is actually good. He thinks that they are, or doesn't think they're evil, but he does not think that what they're doing is good and that they have good intentions.
Yeah, love it.
And equally, we haven't seen we've been focused on Jurasco ourselves for a little while.
And
as far as the party goes, sorry,
go on.
As far as the party goes, I think Puck probably still sees himself as a bit of a scout and skill monkey.
Nice. Roll those hit points.
That is a 4.
4 hit points. Very nice.
4 plus my con.
Yeah, Molokov.
Right. Well, I can't turn down those juicy level 6 infusions, so I will definitely be taking another level in Artificer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because very similar to Ghost, I will be getting better at using my tools and yeah, 2 more infusions, and there'll be
I forgot about that. That's
yeah,
extra
we get
spicy.
some. That is very spicy. We get we can choose much more powerful magical items to replicate now.
Do we get an extra slot?
I think we get one extra. You get to learn 2 more, and you get 1 extra slot. I think is what happens here. Yeah, and in terms of what happens to Molokov, or at least where his head's at the moment, especially with the level up, I think he's sort of been adding and adding and adding to his haphazard sort of armor / weapon that he's created, and I think he's gonna, with one of those books that he found, that he's taken with him from that place, he's gonna start, I think, looking to consolidate his arsenal a little more, and potentially
Sure.
see what modifications to his arm he can make, and
Interesting.
hmm,
All right.
see if I've got some ideas for what that thing might be able to do.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's roll those hit points.
Yeah, it's a on it. Yeah, that's a 3. So it's hard to tell between a 3 and an 8 on these ones.
Good little bump.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So total of 6. So up to 51.
Very good. So, Hera, before level up, is there something you wanted to say?
Well, it'll sort of probably tie into. I feel like I've missed. There was some sort of question you've asked the
Just
players
where's
as
Hera's
they're leveling up.
where's her head at? What direction is she going? And maybe, like, obviously you don't have to say your spells and stuff now, but like,
No,
what
no.
level are you taking? You know, just where's
Yeah.
Hera at? Almost a little bit for me as a GM, but also for the story. You know, is she growing in
Yeah.
this direction? Is she changing this? Is she changing that?
She's definitely going to take another level in Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be learning that there is more to learn out there. There's always more information, and grabbing the information, she knows that she can take and grasp the arcana and things and add that to her arsenal. As for the direction she's heading, it's almost a little bit. She feels like she is definitely heading in a direction, but she's not sure if she can see the forks in the road anymore. And a little bit that's sitting on that is she pulled an idea of herself out as a trade for some information. Dale knows that was the idea of me being a professor.
Mm-hmm.
I assume Hera doesn't remember what idea of herself she gave away. But she does remember.
Yeah.
She does remember the version of herself from the original dream. And she knows that that's not the version of herself she gave up.
Right.
And that sort of scares her a little bit.
I like it.
But yeah, definitely getting thirsty for the information available out there.
And
or even almost
it's within your grasp as well. I think that's probably what Hera sees.
questioning the information she doesn't know she knows, Like, I know that there's all this stuff out there, but there's a whole world that I don't even know what questions to ask yet, and that seems to be pulling on her.
Sure. Roll those hit points.
So points. Let's go, buddy. We're re-rolling ones, aren't we?
We are re-rolling ones.
That's cool. That's nice. 4. That's better.
4 HP, taking you to what? A grand total of.
So I put myself to level 6. Manage HP. So plus 4 to that. We're at a grand total of 32, team.
Woo!
32 hit points.
Love that. And you'll get another couple of spells to add on as well. Sixth level, is that 4th level spells?
I will have to have a look.
Third
I
level.
think it's just an additional slot. For
Additional
your
slot.
Third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7. It's the odd numbers that get the
Gotcha.
new.
At level 6 though, I add Animate Dead to my spellbook if it's not already there. Then when I cast Animate Dead, I can target an additional corpse or pile of bones, creating another zombie or skeleton. Whenever I create an undead using a necromancy spell, it has the additional benefits. The creature's hit point maximum is increased by an additional amount equal to my wizard level, and the creature adds my proficiency bonus to its weapon damage rolls.
Nice.
So much for not that kind of necromancer.
I was going to say, not the only one raising an army.
Well, that's just obviously because of the school.
Yep.
I'm in. It's the next level 6 thing.
I like it.
Nice. And then you just get to add 2 extra spells to your book, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
Love it. So,
Spells,
next time we'll pick up, we'll be on our way to the Brawlholes.